I know you see somehow the world will change for me. Shout out to iCarly for being the inspiration for this show. We wouldn't be here without iCarly.
Wouldn't be here without you.
Wouldn't be here. Welcome back, episode 8 of The Legend of Cedric Swords. We have a fairly good table right now. Got most of the gang here. Might add some people later in the evening, but if they don't show up, that's fine. We got a good one here.
I have a sheet. You have a sheet.
Yeah, you got a better sheet. Last time on The Legend of Cedric Swords, we were in the Cedric Swords were in the grove, the Lumber Grove in the swamps of Mudark Valley, dealing with an infestation problem for the Gormalon family, a family of half-orcs who run a grove and sell different types of herbs and provide potions for the town of Diremarsh. We were going to the Gormalon's Grove to deal with this infestation, and for Malachi to get your druidic focus in the form of a customized wand. Upon arriving, you dealt with your personal business, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the party was attacked by an archfey. The Jolly King, as he was known by Roman, and by the Gormalons themselves, though they had not known the infestation was the Jolly King itself, atop a black-scaled manticore and 3 small dragon wormlings. The Cedric Swords nonetheless took on the problem and fought the Jolly King head-on. Through a very vicious battle, the Cedric Swords faced the Jolly King and defeated him, as well as the Manticore and the 3 Dragon Wormlings. And though damage, and 2 unicorns who were summoned as well. And a massive hand. Well. Definitely a rough battle for the lot of you, but you managed to come out the other side unscathed for the most part. So you almost died. So I guess when I say unscathed, it's not so much unscathed. But that is where we pick up on tonight's episode. So in the wake of battle, I'm sorry, can someone go turn off the PS4? I just hear this
I realized it was on over there.
I was just like, what is that noise? I hear something in the background.
It's angelic.
Thank you PlayStation for sponsoring tonight's episode. Yes. Shout out to my boys.
The boys down at Sony.
I was hoping this would come out.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's where we pick up tonight. The
PlayStation
Swords.
world.
Yeah, I mean the PlayStation world. Pancho and Kazumi start running at you.
Pancho and Kazumi attacking.
So you are currently in the Gormalon's main house. There is still visible destruction. The tile flooring at this point is utterly destroyed. There's a part of the back wall in which the where the massive hand has smashed through the wall is still a gaping hole, and you can see the snowy outside.
Don't forget the door that's pushed somehow.
Yeah, there's the back hallway leading to the back of the kind of back area of the house is completely pushed in, and there's a mass chaos at the moment where there was mass chaos. Now there is suddenly an intense quiet. You see from some of these smaller side rooms, you see members of the Gormalon family start to come out. These different half-orcs, varying in size and varying in some with darker skin, darker green skin, some with lighter green skin. A fair mix of young and old, male and female, different half-orcs. All visually probably about the same. It looks like they are the same family. You see maybe 1 or 2 other humans there as well, and they appear to be dressed more as laborers But they start kind of coming out of some of these side rooms and looking at the different destruction. And then you see Gangrene himself come up. Well, I wasn't thinking the infestation problem was quite so.
Apparently, it was fairly rough.
I am incredibly sorry. If I had known that this was.
I just look around his house and go, we're pretty sorry too.
No, this is obviously not your doing. This is. What was that thing?
Is that what was terrorizing you?
That was. I mean.
For how long?
The thing
How long has it been here?
Best recollection, it's been about 2 months. It's been coming and going. It's been becoming more frequent. The last 2 weeks, it's been a couple of days a week. But,
Did it ever seem like it was looking for something?
well, I've actually never seen
It?
the thing on top of it. It's been whatever that large scaled creature was, and then the 3 smaller things, the lizard
I would like to
things.
check out all of that, don't worry. Oh man, I'm so smashed right now.
You do look like I have
Oh man.
we have quite a lot of healing potions. Please,
I would
Going-
point out that Vladimir is laying on the floor.
Oh yes, he's unconscious. Give him a healing potion. I'm fine for now.
you see Gangrene signal for someone else to come over, and you see like one of the younger boys, one of the younger half-orc boys, come up, and he's going to give you a potion of healing.
Beautiful.
That's pretty good. You gain 20 points of healing back.
Small saw your hit points.
There you go.
Thank you.
And the boy just kind of he's a look of sheer terror on his eyes as he moves because he knows that it's his job, but you see his knees are buckling the entire time he's running, and his eyes are, bugged out, and he is utterly terrified at the moment. There is an intense chill in the air as you stop for a moment to really notice, whereas in the heat of battle with spells flying off and with these large creatures running about, you hadn't really noticed and taken account and let your senses really account for the cold air that is currently drafted in from some of the open doorways. But it is very cold right now. It is probably below freezing with the wind from outside. There's a little bit of shielding, but the wind is kind of hitting in just the right way where there's enough. It's like a draft coming in, and it is chilling you to the bone at the moment.
This is just a small question. Is this still in here?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. You're still in there at the moment.
Malachi's on his hands and knees, like making like undistinguishable like grunts and noises, like he's like just crawling around on his hands and knees.
Because you're fucked up too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Need.
So,
boy, come here.
He went special. He was a
I'm
very
just
intelligent
like,
person. Calm down, calm down,
Sir,
calm down. Malachi, look at me. Calm down. I know, you don't feel right, do you? I'm going to get someone to fix it, okay?
What's wrong with him, friend?
I don't know, I touched him and he went stupid.
So he's touched.
Yes.
Alright, I think we're gonna need a bigger, boy! Boy! You see Gangrene just kind of like whisper something, and you see the boy run off, and he actually runs upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
It takes him about 2 minutes, and then you see him running backstairs, and he has a very large decanter of what looks like
Smart juice.
it looks like a blue liquid. And there are small bubbles that are kind of it's not quite, it's like if the bubble from carbonation were a bit larger, it's like that kind of slow bubble popping up. And it's a large, very slender decanter, about 8 inches tall, and it comes running down. And you see he's actually holding it with 2 gloves, and he uncorks it, and he kind of gestures to you.
As soon as he opens his mouth, it's Jam it in. rub his throat. It's okay. It's okay. Just drink it, sis. Drink it. It's okay. It's okay.
And a moment passes as you feel this strange sensation of like it tastes like soap. It's very bitter for a moment, and then there's like a really strange sweet aftertaste where it's like peppermint aftertaste, but not like a good peppermint.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of burns a little bit, and it's very bitter. But you suddenly feel your senses alert,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a potion of greater restoration.
Why am I on the ground?
Do you remember the last about, say, probably what, 3 minutes?
Probably about like
Am I?
definitely no more than that.
Am I bleeding?
Oh man, you're fucked up, bro. Okay, look at me. You went stupid.
Stupid. Yeah,
Like
like
stupid.
like smelly.
Like big smelly man. You don't remember, do you?
No.
God, I wish I could have shown him.
You have small recollections of like the feelings,
Wait.
but cognitive thought is not
Was
necessarily
there,
a
like-
short-term memory loss. Essentially,
Was there like a big fat guy or something?
There was, we killed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you try to swing.
He touched you and you were normal and then you weren't. Do you remember the big hand?
The big smelly and the big hand. Yes.
Yes.
Oh Lord. So they helped you. You're no longer touched, as they say.
Oh. I still have such a wow. That was a lot.
We don't wander outside at this point. We don't want to look at the bodies of the dead wormlings in the manticore.
sure. Go ahead
I'll
and make a.
follow.
Are you trying to just loot them or look at them?
Right now I'm just checking them out. We've never seen
Yeah.
anything like either of these two things.
Make an investigation check for me.
I'm gonna loot them.
Make an investigation check.
Well, I mean, shit, at that point, we'll just help each other out. What the hell?
Go for it, fella.
I don't know what my thing
My
is.
investigation's pretty good though.
You do it there, so you do it. I'll assist you.
21.
You can roll again, you have assisting.
Yeah.
It can be
21.
better. Or it couldn't.
Yes.
Could fail you.
True. I'm looking for magical stuff.
Alright.
Perhaps some scales.
You are able to. It's very visible. You can detect the scales, and as far as collecting them, you feel fairly confident that you can acquire a dozen scales, and they are fairly small, as opposed to the scales that you got off the larger dragon that you fought back up the river closer to Kosh. These are likely they're about like $50 in size. Definitely scale shaped. You also are able to you find something very similar. You find a small around the necks of all three of the creatures, including the manticore, and the three small wormlings. You find what looks like small necklaces that are woven in chain links. And each of the chain links is what looks like a small dragon's head, where it's incredibly thin and very fine detail. Remarkably fine detail. This is mastercraft's workmanship. Your best guess is this is likely silver working or some kind of fine metal, potentially something like pewter.
So if I looked at it, I'd be able to tell the craftsmanship on it. I'd be just like,
No, this is
made this.
this is very
Seen
fine.
Too.
Do what?
I knew these things.
You do recognize these? Yeah.
This is fucking. What was the name? I wrote it down.
I have them too. It's one in Zach's inventory.
This is.
Silver chain from a hellhound. Parentheses, dragons. Parentheses. So I have one in my inventory already, sir.
This is Krishkev's. Right? Is that the right one?
You do recall that Krishkev was the name of the silver dragon.
This fucking bitch, man. What does he want from us? Well, I can already assume,
Well,
but...
looking at the current situation, I would say most likely our imminent death is probably high on the list. A little bit higher now that we've killed his friends. I would like to take some of the scales.
Sure. So you're able to get about 12
So I'm getting-
per wormling. So you're getting 36.
I'm getting some for specific reasons. See, 36 will work, yeah, roughly, but it should be fine.
And they're about $half size.
And while I'm getting them, I'm wanting to like study the. It's gonna sound bizarre.
The anatomy.
Scale.
Yeah, like I want to see the skeletal, like the skeletal anatomy of the wings, how they're hinged.
Make a medicine check for me.
Would you like an assist?
If you'd like to, you're helping me look at them.
Yes, sir.
That's a D12. I failed. It was a 6.
Been playing this game for how long now?
Shit. Oh, it's a 16. Well, I got advantage too, so it's that was 19. So 19.
19. So without dissecting the corpse and really going in and studying the actual like
Oh yes, I'll do all that in the
different
morning.
levels of the muscular tissue and everything like that. Just getting from an outside exterior perspective, you are able to kind of trace and get some general sketchings done if you are sketching, but you are able to see that, and you are able to kind of feel your way through the different bone structures, and you get a general idea for how these things are composed on the nature.
And then I'm opening its whole fucking mouth and just looking at it.
Yeah, with that same medicine skill. Skill
Oh
check,
yeah, I'm fucking checking
Yeah.
the whole thing out. I'm like a weirdo right now.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely
you know.
like this. This is great.
You count all the teeth in there. You're able to really.
Can I
get to-
pull any out?
With it, it's a little difficult just doing it with your bare hands. But if you were able to get like tools in there,
Oh yeah,
to
get something from
extract.
a pair of tongs or something. I have to.
Getting tweezers or tongs or the like.
Like blacksmith.
You're able to extract a few.
Which is just.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're able to get, I'd say, without. Make a dexterity check for me to see how many of these you're able to actually get.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. for the large,
I won't get another one all night, but I got them for fucking dragon teeth, boys.
you've got let's say 12 dragon fangs. Some of the other ones that you got, and that's between all of them, so 12 total. Some of the other ones were cracked whenever you tried to pull them out, but these were the 12 that you felt pretty confident that you had cleanly got them free.
Cool.
As far as the manticore goes, the manticore is, as you get closer,
Huge.
you notice that the black scale is actually more like armor that was created for the manticore. You are able to actually remove it.
Oh yes, I'm
So
checking
it's-
that shit out.
It takes a little while. It takes probably the better part of 10 minutes to get the entire thing off, and that's with a couple of people helping because the manticore is
you up on
a fairly massive creature.
Yeah, it's a big creature.
Yes, sir.
You didn't even see it, did you?
I did.
Yeah, give it this.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
was going ham on my
I was
tiny
almost
hand.
investigating because
Yeah.
y'all.
Yes.
I killed it.
Well, if this is armor, I want it.
And
I'm gonna
it's
make it my armor, and we're gonna fashion it. I'm gonna find a tailor. I'm doing it.
it's very
happening.
heavy.
It's happening anyway.
You can't wear heavy armor.
I can crawl around with it. All.
No, like you physically you can't.
I can
You have a
sit
negative
there.
strength score. You can't own anything heavy.
Okay, fine. Then someone can have it.
Yeah.
I have a plan for it.
As
There's a
you
reason
are-
I wanted all them teeth and scales too.
Excellent.
As you are getting it off, it probably weighs, to your best guess without trying to actually measure it or anything, this armor probably weighs around 150 pounds or so. 150
Just moving
to
right over to my
280
cart.
pounds. It is incredibly large and cumbersome and very difficult to actually carry. And as you take it off, you see that it is a fairly regular manticore as manticore can be. The kind of light brown fur. But Yeah, this looks like this was armor that was fashioned specifically for this creature. It does have a saddle built into it as well. And the armor goes all the way down. It's like a skin, a second skin for the.
Are there any?
Seniors.
Yeah, like runes or insignias or anything on it.
Investigation check for me, quick.
Shit. Well, that's not bad. Instead of investigation. It was like it's not a natural 20. 16?
16. You are able to find there are in or like next to the like in the metalworking with the saddle, you find a couple of small pouches as well. Inside.
Some more loot, boys!
Inside you find 3 different gemstones, 2 emerald and 1 diamond.
Nice.
Both fairly large. You also find other small bottles. You find 10 silver bells, and these look like they're similar to the bells that you saw.
Silver.
Silver bells.
Similar to what you saw falling from the sky. Even though those were golden, were more like bronze make. These
I
are
swear to God, if you
silver
say
bells.
something, I'm just gonna stab you right now. I'm just gonna stab you right across the table. We're not even gonna hesitate.
You find 2 small rings, both strangely fairly ordinary make, both probably iron make. Maybe
getting
one
two
is
separate
silvery.
Entries with ring question mark, silver ring question mark on it.
You also find 100 gold, 20 platinum,
Rich boys.
and a partridge in a pear tree. I'm just kidding.
Fine.
That was a joke.
Set it on fire. Set it all on fire. Right now.
I got it.
Yes.
But that is what you find. You also do find further back, kind of on the hindquarters, on one of the scales, is etched the initials A and W.
Oh yeah.
Need a different page for this. Goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Lettuce.
So good.
The lettuce has now become what the council is.
Let me see this. Let's see this.
Yes.
Oh shit, boys.
Loot King Company.
So if you alright, after you've
Fucking doll.
Yeah, I would have pointed it out. Yes, it's
I go
A&W.
outside, so
Well, I mean, if they're initials.
go for it.
fuck it.
I think it's 30 AW.
24.
24. Well, you are able to come up with, potentially a lot of different name combinations that have a first name as an A and last name as a W. None of particular importance come to mind. You don't really recognize any blacksmiths who mark, or any leather workers, or other armorers, or other craftsmen or tradesmen who mark with an A and a W.
Oh, it was marked on the armor, not the.
It was marked on the on one of the
Okay,
scales.
alright.
There's an entire other scale.
Yeah, see, I thought you meant like it was branded onto the back of the manticore, and I'm like, cool, somebody else to worry
A
about.
rancher who just
Yes.
has a ranch full of it's a king ranch full
Yeah,
of
just King Ranch full
animals.
of stud manticores ready to just.
That'd actually be really fucking cool. New one-shot idea. Rancher, but it's monster ranching.
Manticore Ranch.
Welcome to Manticore Ranch!
Um,
Don't stick your arm out the vehicle, he's probably gonna fucking need it!
He gonna need you.
Yo,
You can ask the friendly boy if he knows an AW.
Please don't feed the manticores.
So, do you know anyone with the initials AW? That might be of Archfey relations?
Well,
Other?
I don't know of any AWs. We don't really use names like that. We kind of all have.
I don't want to interrupt you two right now. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's okay.
But, if you told him what's going on, How much does he know?
Well,
Because based off what just happened, I'm going to guess not a lot, because you didn't have much to say in that last bit. And I thought you would have a little more input. Situation at hand.
why don't you know anything about your brother? Well, my brother, I think, has a way of not really letting me see him. He's a very powerful archfey, so he doesn't really, like to talk. But, what are you? Well, I'm an archfey too. Well,
And-
your brother's powerful.
And who was that we just
your
killed?
mom is powerful. Oh, that was my older brother. God damn it! You could have said that. You could have said that, buddy. Listen, I didn't know he was going to show up. Listen.
Did you tell him about the council? Does he know anything about what you just roped him into? Did you just rope him into bullshit?
Well, you wanted help, right? Getting something back. Yeah, but so far you haven't done that too well. Well, I'm giving you power, right? I mean, I guess. But you know what? I still love you. It's okay. No, I love you too. We just gotta talk through some stuff, I think. Yes. Indeed. Listen.
I'm not gonna do that for the entire time.
Yeah, no. Okay, go ahead.
But listen. There is something that I think you should be aware of, and I don't know if you are. How much do you know about the Court of Fae? Small. I know your mom is big, a big girl. Big in there. She's up top. Yeah, that's very true. She is kind of the queen. She doesn't necessarily rule. You don't really rule everyone else. There's like,
That's not what council is.
they called me the friendly king. Now I don't rule anyone except my own kitchen table. But see, I have a lot of siblings, and a lot of them like to change their names and become different people, and whenever they come across from the Feywild to here, I can't always tell. I'm not necessarily the strongest in my family, but there's a lot of us. And, well, we didn't always get along with the mortals very well, and some of us got along with the dragons a little too well, and, Yes. Well, the long and short of it is, I may need you to help get rid of some of my family from this mortal plane. Why is that? Well, some of them deserve to be in timeout, if you know what I mean. Understand. It's not a very nice thing whenever you interrupt a mortal's life and you trick them or you change them, or you steal something from them. Do you know anything about that? Oh yes. I know plenty. What happened to you? I used to be robust. Really? And sexy. Now I'm fucking jacked and hideous. That really sucks. I know. I'm so sorry, Vladimir. It's okay. You had nothing to do with it. Well, but your brother did. In part, kind of. In a way. It's all related. No, I know. He just has that's his thing. He likes to invade other people's lives, and I don't know everything. I only have a limited amount of power on the mortal world. But I think he's up to something. Really? Yeah. And like I said, I have a limited amount of power that I can wield and bring over from my own home plane, but what I have been able to see is, he kidnaps people and uses them for his own bidding. Wasn't that what happened to you?
Yeah, man.
I mean, what was your life like before this?
No idea. I don't remember anything, man. Just black hole. Bam.
It just shit you right out.
Yeah.
Oh, that really sucks.
The sky shit me out, pretty much.
Yeah. My brother does
The
that.
sky shits us all out, sir.
Listen, bud. Say, do you know of any way I could get to your hood, as they
To the
say?
Feywild,
Yes.
you should come and visit. We can have a little party.
I'd love to.
Drink some tea.
There's a handful of ways to get there.
I can.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there any way you would know that's easiest?
Well, you gotta find gateways.
There's an island in the south.
Ah, an island. What is this?
You are aware that once you go through over to the Feywild, that there's no guarantee you'll ever return from the Feywild, right?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, that's one of the whole points of being an archphase. You kind of just like hop, skip, and jump between. But, it takes a lot of energy.
Well, once you get there, you're there. There's no leaving. The only way you leave is if you're invited by someone who can open a rift.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
He doesn't
I
have.
love my friends to come and visit.
Do
That'd
you
be really nice.
He doesn't have.
do you have a way of yourself getting there and back?
Potentially, but I'm in a weakened state. I mean, as you just saw, my brother. Yeah, if you'd seen him over here, man, he could be really nasty.
The question: If we've done in with him on this side, I'm going to assume that wasn't his real self in there.
Well, you see, his whole thing is he's actually a really nice guy. That's why we call him the Jolly King.
Of course.
But you see, back before Falling Day, he got in league with the Court of Dragons, and they sort of messed him up a little bit, and now half the time he's a jolly person, and the other half he can be
Right, Dick?
sure.
We
Yes.
call us Karens.
Karens?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
But
Karens.
I like that.
It's good.
He can be a real
It's
kid
good.
sometimes. But like right now, it's taking quite a bit of power for me to speak to you. This is why I can't always talk. I'm focusing quite a bit of my power. I don't think I'll be able to do this again for another week or so, or at least at this length.
I understand.
Well, I'll let you know before you leave. As long as you keep your neutral stance, the Undying says you will stay off the list.
Well, I really like
But
that.
your brother is at the top.
Oh,
The Smiling King is currently... He's doing stuff.
he's a Karen for sure.
Right? Yeah.
That's what he said.
What a damn Sharon.
Yeah, maybe.
I like it.
While this
Genius.
conversation is happening, I'm like still on the ground, but I'm like recovering my senses. I never remember why I'm on the ground, so like I'm like passively like I'm listening to this conversation while trying to find like should I drop during battle?
Nice. Well, I guess that is all for now. Just know that I love you.
Oh, Vladimir, you're making me blush.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well, I love you too, and I hope you get good sleep. I hope you learn lots of new things. I think I can tell you what. I'll try extra hard tonight, and I'll see if I can give you something good. You can wake up in the morning, and I'll give you a little gift.
Oh man, that's so sweet of
A
you.
little handy, if you will.
No, that works just as fine.
No, well,
It's funny just because there's a hand there talking. A little hand, if you will.
Yes. Beautiful.
well, that's kind of all the time I have for right now.
It's all the time happening.
I'm feeling pretty weak. I need to go take a nap.
Okay, kids.
Nessa,
Maybe.
Yes!
Oh,
Everybody kiss him!
I'm not considering
no.
that.
Kiss him now!
I'm not sure what that has been. No. He's been touched already. He doesn't need to touch again.
It goes up to Harambe.
Robbie just starts growling.
Just like it's that little kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no!
Alright, well, bye for now.
Bye!
Most of the hand disappears in a small black puff.
Don't trust anything he ever says.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Okay.
He doesn't.
He's not entirely honest. He's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
not a bad guy, but he's not honest. He's still a tricky person. Hence the reason you're in your situation.
She's still part of Corfe. Yeah.
Did you get any power? Do you feel any stronger?
A tad bit.
I don't think you could literally cast one warlock spell since you became a warlock.
I can clean stuff. I can understand languages.
I'm just saying, like, you haven't done any of this. You got it, like, the power you've gotten. You haven't seen the spells you would have gotten for just being a next level wizard would have jumped anything you got as a warlock. Anyways. Oh well. No, don't trust anything he says.
Okay.
But he is right. We need to kill his brother. I don't know where he is.
Agreed.
I don't know what.
I plan to kill his ass.
You have reason to. He spit you out of the black hole.
As I stand up, stowing like the items are just kind of. He does seem to be an obstacle in our way.
But like, why? What did?
We need to find the amulet, but not give it to him. And maybe that will help.
Amulet? What the fuck are you talking about?
We were
He doesn't
originally.
know.
Well,
Somebody tell him.
we're trying to find someone who's very important to us by the name of Simon.
I know that part. Y'all informed me of that. You informed me that he had him, which is why I followed you. But
Well, the amulet's an important part of that, and we need to find Simon in order to find out. We had the amulet, but it disappeared.
in what way? Like, how did it disappear?
How do you want to tell him?
And we fast forward through that explanation because I actually know. Okay, well, I got nothing.
Give him a
boys.
chance to. Give him a chance.
No, that's it. That's it.
No.
Oh.
Well, it was ripped from me, and the curse was lifted, and it was either destroyed or taken to another.
The amulet tried to kill him, basically.
So like you were wearing it, and it was just like, I'm out this bitch,
Yep.
and just was like, deuces.
It was some high-tech magicry.
No, that's strong.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I doubt it was destroyed. It exists somewhere, most likely. Where it went, who knows?
Yeah.
We would need someone of with expertise for that.
I imagine.
No offense, wizard
They
man.
certainly do not know.
I imagine.
We can't ask the Fae anything because all they do is fucking lie.
I know. I'm just saying. They don't.
We'd ask a human who just studies shit in a tower somewhere. Like this town.
That's me.
You're not in a tower and you don't know shit.
I was in a tower at one point.
Then where did it go?
Somewhere.
Good job.
Duh.
What spell was it that they were using to cast it, sir?
Magic missile.
Illegal.
Duh.
It's all anybody uses, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like New Age Fireball.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
I imagine the amulet is highly sought after, and I don't think this is all coincidence.
no, the amulet is of dragon descent, correct? It has dragon insignia. Just related to dragon things. So maybe the Court of Dragons is more what we're looking for here, something connected to them. Do we have any leads on that?
No, I know a couple names.
Zarek
of
knew a lot about
dragons
that.
and who they know.
I know bits of what Zarek knew.
So that would be all that stuff's the
Collide.
Emotion.
Percy.
Yes.
Oh, all
Percy,
about
Rationale.
There are different aspects.
So that would
Yeah.
be me sitting up one night and reading through Zarek's notes.
Yeah.
Cool, that's what I'll do tonight then if you're ready.
Yeah, Zarek took fervent notes about that.
Yes, it's the scrawlings of a fucking retarded child.
If
Very
Rupert knew
riveting
anything-
stuff.
If Rupert knew anything, he could help. But he's just a babe.
A question. On the backside, when the glass broke, and all of that happened,
Yes.
did anything happen other than me waking up? Was there any
You did-
feelings or?
You did feel in a brief instant not so much a vision of anything, but a strong, warm wind. And you felt for a brief moment just the smell of a very arid air. And
Which is very bizarre because we're in a fucking swamp.
it was very bizarre and definitely distinguishable from the surroundings, from your surroundings, which is very cold and indeed in a swamp. But it reminded you for a brief moment of a desert, which
Lines up with
makes sense.
things that I've studied. Okay, well, for one, I'm fucking spent, boys, and it is like 10 p.m. I've spent the last 2 hours fucked off my ass trying to learn the physiology of a dragon.
Of course.
It's great. On a side note, Golan!
Yeah.
Was that the beast?
Well,
Assume, we assumed it was
would
the beast.
assume because that's kind of
It's a big problem.
if there's another
If there's another one, it would require a second payment.
and of course. Now, I will tell you, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a creature or multiple creatures. So the payment is 800 gold. That was kind of the extinguisher's fee.
So a little substand. I understand though, you need to save some money to fix your home.
But I can also supply
Oh, healing potions would be like
some healing potions.
divine.
We've got some
Supplies.
for you.
I have an entire cart that we
We
could
had to spend
kit
some
out with
before.
supplies and
I got some questionable healing kits as well. I don't know if you want to take a look at them.
Oh, I can take a look at those, and by all means, we can give you some more of those and some
Yeah.
healing potions on your way out tomorrow morning.
Hell
By all
yeah.
means, stay the night
thank
in
you.
here or out there in the camps.
I've got to go
whichever one
to
you
my
want.
cart and look at some things and look through some papers.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Chill.
I need to invest my time as much as I can. So that works for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to play with Rupert and feed him.
Rupert's
Give
with
me-
me. No.
Give me! It's time.
Okay,
It's the weekend.
look. I'll give you Rupert. If you
Yes.
fuck this up, I will kill you in your sleep.
How come I am feeding him?
And he won't be alone.
No, you don't understand.
Have you ever
If this man over here comes to me and says, "Why the fuck is this guy letting a dragon run around in my fucking house?" I will kill you while you sleep.
Have you
Fire
ever
from the
read-
backyard.
Have you ever read Murder on the Oriental Cart?
It's not dark.
Oh,
Spoiler
shit.
alert. They all
was you.
chip in.
Oh
Here's the thing.
no. Give me.
I don't want you to not have your friend. This is the group's pet. We all have a dragon, and look, we have armor for it when it grows up.
True.
But here's the thing. You can't use it as an intimidation tactic on other people. Not right now, because we're not famous enough to get our asses out of it if you get us in trouble.
That's so famous.
We can't do that if you fucking shit up with a dragon in town.
Become infamous.
No,
It's
that's
a
a very
good
valid point.
story.
It's a good story until they're like, let's hire the people who killed 500,000 people.
Exactly.
It's not much of a saved town if 3/4 of the citizens are dead.
There you go, Avengers.
Well,
Just saying.
Hashtag Sokovia. Be alive while this was a great thing.
So, just a thought. Maybe we just beat the dragon and hang out for a little bit.
That's what I was
Be
gonna
friendly.
do.
Okay.
As you're
Gimme!
Watch him.
Gimme!
I was gonna be with you in the car.
Watch him.
Thank you.
If he does anything stupid, kill him.
I'm making campfire.
Not literally. Try to knock him unconscious first. Don't want him to die.
God damn it.
as
You're an adult who acts like a big kid.
That's
You're like
so.
You remind me of like
I could buy
I'm just gathering
ale.
campfire.
you're like the fucking rich college kid who's paying $35 a gram. Like you're that guy who's throwing a bitch fit because you went to McDonald's and they gave you one sauce instead of two. And you're like, I'll burn this place down. You'll hear from my fucking lawyer.
I want two.
My dad owns this McDonald's.
I want two barbecue sauce for my fucking chicken nuggets right now.
as this is
Yes.
happening, you're watching the rest of the Gormalons. You see that a few of them, or there's about 2 or 3 of them, who are kind of in a conjoined effort. You see that they've produced some small wands, and you see that they're spending about, over the course of about 10 minutes or so, they're casting these kind of ritual spells to create these large vines that block off some of the walls and kind of create a false wall now of or not a false wall, a new wall of these thick vines, and the same thing for the doors and the other open doorways and the window that Morty had jumped through, and some of the other damaged bits of the Gormalon estate are being mended at the moment. You see that some of the tiles, you see that some of them are going to mending some of the tile work and basically trying to restore the estate into a sense of normalcy. You also see a few tending some of the other wounded. You see maybe about 4 or 5 of the half orcs, of like a total of maybe about 25 to 30 half orcs who are on the premises. About 4 or 5 of them are a little bit wounded and are being tended to at the moment. You see a few kids running around, some kind of replaying. You see that some of them are kind of wielding their swords like how some of you had, and you see they're kind of saying like, which one do you want to be? I want to be the blue one. I want to be... You kind of get the sense that they're trying to pretend to be
We're cool.
you at the moment.
Hell
For,
yeah.
for the time being. One of them says, I don't want to be the big fat one. I want to be the... Yeah, and so they're... You see it all just playing out.
You're the fat one.
I wish.
That's the big bulky one. Yeah.
The fat one referring to the Jolly King, of course.
Oh,
But,
okay, yeah.
Yes.
but you see, then you also see a few others just kind of sitting alone in the corner. Just sitting, kind of staring, not moving. They're
Nerds.
younger half orcs who are looking like they're in a bit of a petrified state at the moment. Fairly terrified. And as Morty, you're going out to make a campfire outside.
I was gathering wood fire.
Easily enough, you see that there are a couple of other half orcs who kind of side look next to you. What's your name?
Morty?
Morty. Thank you for... That was, I've never seen anyone fight like that. Or fight things like that. That was, thank you.
No problem, man. I'm just trying to survive, man.
Yeah. What do you do this for a living?
I have no idea what I do. I'm just.
I don't know, man. I'm just here.
I barely just met this group of people, just traveling. Just a traveler mainly.
Smarty can get on.
You seem like a decent man. And this looks like a decent group of people.
Cool.
I would consider myself lucky to be in your shoes.
Appreciate it, bro.
You see he's kind of like following you, and looks like he's gathering wood with you, and he seems to.
Got a fan.
Do they brush hands?
Oh
It's
God!
like a meet cute.
Um,
No, I'm keeping with
what's your passive perception?
10 plus your perception. Or 10 plus your wisdom.
10 plus wisdom. I think it was like 13. Yeah.
You feel a small tap on your ass for a moment. You kind of look around. You don't necessarily know where it came from. You see a couple other half orcs, but they kind of just are moving off and doing their own thing. But you feel you swear you definitely felt something, just kind of like for a brief moment.
Yeah,
Just
this is why I don't fucking halfway. Let's head back towards the
alright. But you see that some of them are starting to create campfires, and you see you overhearing a little bit of whispering, and for the rest of you as well, you hear some whispering of. Did you see that? Oh, did you catch their names? Who are they? And Demetrius, you see this younger half orc lady come up to you.
Thank
Hi.
Hello.
Howdy.
What's your name?
I'm Demetrius.
Wow. So you guys are like, this is just what you do. You're heroes.
It's fun.
I'm Grisha. She holds your hand.
Nice.
She just kind of holds your hand for a couple extra seconds.
Did you want some half work?
I like your. What is that? Is that an ape?
Instead of smelling like fish down there, it just smells like fucking crawdads.
Right here.
Oh shit.
It's a regular. It's a regular Bayou buffet down there. Boy.
Someone leave something.
Sorry. I was like, at first when I started, I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this, and I was like, crawdads works.
I know exactly where I'm going. See, Grisha
Crustaceans.
waves to Harambe, and see, she's very smitten. She looks like she's kind of in her late teens.
Is it with him or with the monkey?
Harambe's like trying to say hi and trying to communicate.
She wants you to call her.
She
Stir up the gumbo.
so is this your friend? Is this your pet?
Yes.
Wow, you're really cool. Can I touch your sword?
Yeah.
Sure.
As you pull out your sword, you just hear her. Wow, it's a really nice sword you got. And she kind of like runs her finger along the sword.
Basically.
Anyway, I'm gonna be downstairs in the greenhouse seeing if it was damaged at all. So if you wanna come talk or something, I'll be in the greenhouse downstairs. Just out the back door, take a left, and in the greenhouse downstairs. Just checking.
Does Vladimir see this?
And I was about to ask the exact same thing.
Make perception checks for you.
Perfect.
Go for it. This is
Not gonna see.
That one.
that one.
I got a. You said perception?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
9.
What does she look like?
She looks like so.
Give us your cast.
She's
Yeah.
Measurements. Not
Yeah.
No, just who you would cast as an actress.
Yeah.
rolled for bust size. Rolled for dick size. So I think I should know.
For proportion size.
She's like.
About 36. Not
Oh, but you got hit in the face with a fucking shovel 6 times.
Okay, like honestly, a little bit. It's like imagine Fiona, of course, with the half orc teeth kind of protruding from underneath. Instead of red hair, it's this really thick, tightly braided, kind of black and brown hair, tousled a little bit from the skirmish. And you see she is wearing just kind of fair makeup right now. It actually looks like It looks like this is what she does over here. It doesn't look like she really fits in with it. She's wearing nicer garbs than the rest of the half orcs. Looks like she's not so much a laborer. Looks like potentially one of the daughters.
So noble pussy.
A fairly beautiful half orc by all accounts, you know.
Less hot Cameron Diaz. She's probably got a heart of gold.
And you see her
Seems
sprint
pretty
off downstairs.
The farmer's daughter.
Exactly what's happening right now.
Is there a trail following her?
A what?
A trail? Oh.
No.
Oh.
There's not.
She's not that into you, dude.
There's not. It's not like a slug trail. It's not like she walked up and touched the sword. It was just like, oh my god. It's just the fucking guys and I can't stop. You're so hard.
Exactly.
So what are the rest of you doing?
Y'all can go first. So.
Yeah.
Non's gonna take a
So this
second.
is pretty much the last thing we do before we
And then
go to bed for the night.
Feeding Rupert and telling him that I love
I'll
him.
just set a campfire outside the
And then
cart.
ask if the mean man was hurt again.
Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
23.
Fairly capably, you are able to interact with Rupert, and he seems fairly responsive. Definitely eats up fairly quickly, and what are you feeding him?
I mean, you can just feed him semantical. It's like a whole fucking beast out here.
Yeah,
Cut a
sure.
big chunk out and throw it to him.
Sure. You watch as Rupert walks around and starts looking at some of the other.
Away from the other ones. And then when they
I went in the
Roman is like
backyard.
straight up just slaughtered and torn apart.
The corpses.
I'll allow it.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're able to get the food source away from the other dead wormlings, which look very similar to Rupert. But the only difference is he's green and they were black. What is that?
Is that ice man?
Mine.
Okay, I was like, are we?
It's the bomb.
We're being targeted.
We're being targeted.
Someone's like, rolls his life. Not anymore, boys. Yeah, you are able to fairly accurately, or fairly quickly and accurately get a sense for Rupert's mood at the moment. He seems a bit jostled and anxious, for sure. Fairly excited, not really knowing what's going on, and doesn't really seem talkative right now. Doesn't seem to be responding, but or at least verbally, but is responding actively and is engaging with you.
I see. I'm going to... Let's see.
Don't you prefer hanging out with me, Rupert? Ocean, yes.
You just watch Rupert go and looks up and he just kind of shrugs as only a dragon can and starts going back after the manticore meat. He seems particularly interested in the manticore meat at the moment as Rupert hasn't necessarily eaten in a while. So
Eat up, boy.
fairly quickly Rupert goes through the manticore meat that you've gotten and is kind of looking around
For
more.
I'll be like, don't worry, I'll get some more.
Shove him back in my cloak. Cut out another piece. Bring him back to where I was.
Let's say you're able to get plenty of manticore meat off of it, and Rupert is able to eat his fill for the evening.
Excellent. I know.
how much of the manticore is left?
That was probably probably a sixth of it, so
That's a lot of meat.
So, can we store some of this meat on your cart?
I mean, I have no way to salt it or prepare it for travel like that.
Sure.
You might want to ask these people to thank you.
Wait! I can freeze it. Boom, done it before.
you have actually, yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah. You take it'd probably take you about the better part of an hour, probably the entire hour to adequately get enough meat to. So you have 5 more rations for Rupert. I'd like to put that down.
Would like to state that lizards don't eat every day, they eat every 2 to 3 days.
Yes, they do. But this being a dragon with a very high metabolism,
It'd probably be every other day.
dragon is, and
Because with as much as they're eating.
and you're not familiar with dragon, the eating habits of a dragon, so you're not quite sure when Rupert is needing to eat next. You just get a sense that Rupert
Even if I
is.
We just know that when they're older, it's whole villages.
Yes.
I mean, you can certainly try and ascertain and talk to Rupert, but yeah, Rupert didn't necessarily seem talkative at the moment. He seemed a little bit temperamental and not willing to speak, but willing to play. And you got a sense that he was he was kind of toying with you a little bit,
I'll
playing
give
coy.
him some space. I'll pat him on the back and I'll say,
Do you want the door open or closed? Sonny.
You hear Rupert just go, and kind of a little spurt of like greenish air kind of coughs up.
Open it is then.
All right.
Anybody else doing anything? Are you doing anything?
I'm actually gonna approach Roman and be like, "Could I actually borrow you for a moment?"
Sure, I'm heading out to my cot. Would you
Okay.
like to follow me?
Sure thing.
Just fucking bags of shit.
Yeah.
The entire scale. Yeah. You've got and the 36 scales probably weigh a phone.
Each scale.
So you got 36 of them.
36 pounds.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or maybe like half of that. So
That's 7 pounds of phone.
So like
yeah.
18 phones.
Okay. Well, what did you need?
So as we're walking over there, and he's like carrying his scales, like I'm gonna stumble for a moment, and then I'm gonna be like, I should probably fix that. I'm gonna take out my wand, touch myself, healing some of my wounds.
Oh, that's nifty.
Yeah, I just acquired this one.
That's oh god.
Um,
Are you the only one who can do that?
I
know Morty can. I
I
saved my ass outside.
I believe Demetrius can.
Nifty. Got Ash. It's kind of useless though, unless you stand next to me.
So Roman, I know you haven't been here that long, but how are you coping with the dangers of adventuring?
Oh, well, I mean, when I travelled with Sigrun in the Order, we did essentially what y'all are doing now. We just went around and did odd jobs and I watched him.
Mm-hmm.
This is what my side of the Order does.
Mm-hmm.
The side that Zarek was supposed to be a part of is more intellectual, reading, knowledge. We're more in the field, doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different because I'm with people. Usually I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
My cot, all the time. Whoever talks to me. It's lonely.
My life has been anything but quiet, and that's what I know from the people I've been adventuring with, and they're very experienced adventurers, even if sometimes they may seem incompetent. It's unfortunate how many I've seen go.
Oh, have y'all had a lot of people leave?
I mean,
Pass away?
I could tell you names, but I'm not sure what they would mean to you.
This is true.
And it worries me because I've never come across people who are so loyal and devoted to upholding justice in the world. And I worry sometimes without Zarek here, it's been kind of hard to fulfill that role within the group.
Well, I mean, I have a moral compass.
Mhm.
I believe in doing the greater good, and what we're doing is the right thing. Whether or not you want me to speak to people, I tend to be a little off-put to the blue flames on the face.
I never thought I'd find myself on the same side of people who would if they had a chance, hang people like me.
The world is a fickle place, full of fickle people. Prejudice is prejudice. It's what it is. All you have to do is keep doing what you do and show people that you're not an asshat. By not being an asshat, maybe they'll see your people isn't an asshat. You should probably make sure that the other one isn't an asshat. Or everything you do is for nothing.
I cannot fully account for Vladimir. He is his own kind of person.
Oh God, is that true?
Oh, yeah.
But as for Badger, Demetrius, and...
Badger's an odd one. He's always drunk.
Yes,
I like it.
I think Badger has his own healthy way of coping with the road. But I've come to really grow fond and admire them for how they handle what we go through practically on a daily basis, honestly.
Well, so far, y'all live one hell of a life. And I'm down. This has been interesting. It's the most fun I've probably had in the last 6 months. So I left the order. They sent me out here to this fucking place. If y'all are leaving this place, I'm leaving with you. Also, mentioning us over here at the cart, I've made literally no progress on the crossbow thing.
Really?
Nothing.
I could probably
0.
I could probably give you guidance with that.
Every time I've tried, I've just gone sit down and I've gone, yes, it's a crossbow, and then I've gotten up and left.
I was sitting on this campfire with a cart when they're approaching. But it's still cold as shit outside.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm sure I was apprehensive at first, but
Were you talking shit earlier?
To who?
Me, I saw it.
What? What is going on? I don't know what's happening.
Nothing.
I'm playing Rupert.
I was apprehensive at first, but after, going through what we've gone through in the past few days, I can safely say that I trust your intentions.
Oh, I would never attempt to lead the party astray, if that's what you're saying anyway.
Yes,
No.
I was suspicious at first, but
There's nothing to be gained from it. The world's ending. Well, ending might be stretching it, but there's things happening that aren't normal.
that is undeniable.
So I'm always down to help. Also, it gets me the hell out of this swamp.
I'm not fond of swamp smoke.
No, it smells bad.
You'd have to be a half-orc to enjoy it.
Smelly shit. Anyways, the rest of my nights just spent reading all Zarek's notes.
Okay. Do you spend 30 minutes working on?
Yeah, we'll take 30 minutes
Crossbow.
and work on the crossbow.
As he's evaluating the crossbow, I'm gonna kind of like take like an extra added interest into it. Like here, I've yet to actually put this into practice, but like taking my wand, I kind of like make a small sigil in the air, and then I touch him using
Alright.
guidance. Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna,
Yeah.
go ahead and make an intelligence check with your advantage.
Thank God. That's still not much better. Intelligence?
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, so this is the, I believe this is the third night of you actually doing it.
Yeah, this will be the third bubble. Out of 5.
Yeah, you are able to make progress, and you feel like you get a decent concept of the loading mechanisms and how it's actually going to sit in the contraption, and you basically get a fairly close design of what you think is... You feel like you could probably make a prototype of it your next go around. You feel like you have enough. So at the very least, make a prototype, try it out, and then go back to the drawing board if you needed to.
Now, do want to bounce a stupid idea off of you that I had earlier.
Go for it.
Okay, so I was looking at the dragons, right?
Right.
So, look at this, and I just pull the thing off the mechanical horse in the back of my cart. And you see the exoskeleton for a horse.
Right.
a literal mechanical horse half done.
Mm-hmm.
What if I, instead of making a horse, made a dragon?
Like to ride on and to fly?
Yes! To pull this damn cart.
Is there such a thing as something mechanical that can fly?
Arcane means mean anything.
That this, even with magic, this sounds hard to achieve.
So I looked at the skeletal structure of their wings, right?
Right.
So I would just have to have something of enough tensile strength to hold its weight, making it out of a very lightweight metal.
Now I have a very, very basic understanding of engineering.
And you're like, what you just said, I have no idea.
But I think I can understand what you're
But
trying
sure, it sounds cool.
Science.
This is months and months away. It'll never work. 90% sure. I've been working on this horse for like a year and a half, and it's not even done. But I want to scrap it all and do a dragon.
That sounds incredible.
It probably will never fly. But maybe. Who knows? Yes.
First off, all things are possible through God. So drop that down.
All things are possible through God. Remember.
All right. Demetrius, is there anything you'd like to do for the evening?
Demetrius is gonna go for it.
All right.
He's gonna disappear for a few hours.
He's like the bad babysitter. He's like, well, Vladimir can put himself to sleep tonight. So.
You make your way down to the greenhouse, and as you step outside, you see that on the ground. You see outside now there's more humans outside who are kind of walking through.
We should be like splayed out.
She's
ready.
butt-ass naked.
Just like
Paint me like one of your French girls, Jack. Paint me like one of your military whores.
Sorry.
You see some of the other of the Gormalons are moving around, and they're again still trying to pick up from some of the damage. You see that where the fireballs had landed off to the tree, off near the tree, or they're kind of like with shovels and everything, kind of rearranging some of the dirt. You do see the greenhouse right there.
Hey, remember that cousin wasn't either.
Just go up to the door. Open the door. You do see inside the same half-orc girl. She's dressed up, or she's in her same garb as it was only a short, maybe like 30 minutes or so.
Lingerie was like,
But she is wearing a large shawl as well. Very like 30s or like 20s or 30s, like Hollywood starlet kind of style, where she's dressed up, and you see she's kind of shivering as well.
oh man.
Oh.
Cool.
Well,
I've just got the heat running.
and you see she's covered up, and she's not facing you, so whenever you open the door, she's kind of turns and goes.
Booty turns on. Well, she's got the perfect
Yeah.
like MySpace.
Yeah, she's like.
She's got the perfect MySpace profile picture, bro.
She goes,
You're about to get top 3 friend status.
Demetrius,
I wasn't expecting you, even though I told you to come.
Demetrius, you came.
My picture perfect pose.
Say it.
Well,
Oh, well.
there's the door, big boy.
I just imagine
And,
Zach and Miri just.
Meanwhile, where's Harambe?
That's a good question.
Looking in through the window. No, you just said it and you were like, babysit the dumbass. Or he's just looking at the greenhouse like
window.
beating off.
Make a concentration check.
Sorry.
Finds a frog.
Or girls like to go hard, risky.
13.
13? And I feel like that's all that needs to be said about that.
You didn't give it.
You,
She took it.
Explore, so she.
You were ready to give it, and she was like, "No, buddy, I'm taking it.
She took a lot of
She shouted you up.
yeah, she it's a very interesting evening. You've never been with a half orc girl. And
Shade.
Had you ever been with a girl? Okay. Romans has
Once you go half orc, you never go no orc.
full orc or nothing. I gave her the
I think she gave him full.
So you spend the night with this half orc girl.
Those are her name. Like,
There's a real question you gotta ask. Did you pull out?
Oh,
oh,
yeah. That's a slight handshake.
go ahead.
I'll leave that up to you. We can talk later. The next campaign is going to be the love child.
Once we find out the soul that's inside, that was inside Enigma, is the soul of your child.
Yeah. For some reason, I want to join a group of strangers in adventure.
I don't have.
It seemed like quarter orc and half elf boy.
But then after that, I want to live on like a plantation.
Yeah.
We build some shit. Be a robot. I don't know.
Have the
Man.
old swamp.
But with that, and as you come, the morning comes.
Is he limping?
Before I went to sleep, could I use like my new glass blower's tools to kind of like try? I have that one potion that kind of looks peculiar.
Mhm.
Can I like? It says like the description kind of makes it seem like I can maybe evaluate the contents by evaluating the glass.
Sure. So you're trying to discern the contents by the bottling itself.
Mm-hmm. I'm not proficient.
Go ahead and make a intelligence check for me.
11.
11. It's not entirely clear as to what bottle is, or what the contents are from the bottle. You are familiar with, most potions of healing are in a certain type of bottle. This doesn't necessarily look like it is.
Okay.
Same with poisons are a dime a dozen. You can have anything. What?
This is what she just did to him. This is how it went.
Yes.
Oh, I hate it so much.
You're the one on the left.
You gotta share the meme with people.
Oh, wow.
Just do a quick one.
Very sorry to all the viewers who are going to see this.
Oh no,
It's not even gonna.
Nope.
It's not worth it.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the closest you get.
I think that was
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
But
It's funny though.
yeah, you're not able to really tell what it is. You'd have to sit down and you'd actually have to probably test it and distill a little bit and try and figure out what the chemical compounds are. But
fair enough.
with that, you all take a long rest and you level up to level 7.
Ballin'.
Yeah.
If anyone needs to take, does anyone need to take time to do their level up right now? Do you need a level up?
I just need to roll my hit points.
Well, you just add one for, just a +1 for each one that you roll.
Yeah. But we've all done our level up, so we're all good to go.
Oh yeah, that is rolling.
Cool.
Reroll that one because that was one.
There you go. Cool. Alright. Welcome to level 7, boys. Now things are getting tough.
Oh yeah.
Shit, because they weren't before.
More world-ending fights and things like that. But as you wake up,
Right before bed, I read all of his notes. And the Rochanel stuff and all of the Court of Dragon things. And before bed, he's going to do one thing he hasn't done in a very long time.
okay.
He's going to rub one out first. And then, after he's finished, he's going to be like so. Erosion out back then. I never haven't. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. This is weird. Yeah, right? Like I just finished. I feel weird about this. But anyways, so you've been in contact with a buddy of mine, Zarek, who has stepped down for a moment, and I'm going to take his place. So is there anything you feel like I should know about what we're doing? let me know. If not, like this, whatever. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Make a religion check for me.
Oh man, I don't think I am a very good one at this. Let's see. Oh, never mind. I'm balling in that. 20.
20. Alright. As you kind of do this morning prayer, you do feel, for a moment, in the cold, and in the morning air of the swamp, it's not entirely appealing. It's very damp. There is a lot of moisture in the air, which has that bog water kind of smell. And the snow itself kind of has this like greyish tint to it. Not at all appealing. You also still see a fair amount of sleigh bells still scattered on the ground from the fight before. But in your moment, did you sleep in the cart?
Yeah. I'll sleep on the car.
On the cart, whereas you would normally feel this bit of cold air draft through, and you've been feeling that a little bit through the night, even though you have your means of warmth within the cart. You feel a very similar arid, dry aura kind of cover your cart for a moment.
Okay.
Definitely feels like some sort of response.
Noted.
Nothing too much else other than...
Nothing too specific, but other than acknowledgement.
And you do feel a bit of a... You feel for a moment anxiety.
Great.
This small little bead kind of tugging on your stomach a little bit. And as it pulls downward, you feel like it's almost like getting G's on a roller coaster. For a split second, you feel that gut pulling of anxiety, and then it goes and releases with the arid aura, and you feel it's getting warm and a bit at peace for a moment, and then a breeze of cool morning swamp air comes through and reconnects you with the rest of the world and your environment. And you look out and you see that there are some of the other half orcs who are Morty stuck outside in the camp.
Oh yeah, just like outside the.
Because there are actual small little tents up right now, and there is still yeah. As you all come to consciousness, the first thing that you notice, you see that a lot of the Gormalon family are currently up and about and are hard at work making these prepare some. You see that there are, because there are so many of them.
Roman's rude.
You see that there are about a half a dozen or so who are currently preparing food, and what looks like in the camp itself, there's a large kettle, and you see that some are setting up plates, and there's a large long table as well. But you see that on the immediate house itself, you see that there are maybe about 15 or so workers building and cutting some of the lumber. You see that they've already pulled some lumber from the nearby trees to make new doors, create the necessary repairs, and see that there are a few of them as well with their wands out. There's only maybe 3 or 4 of them who are actually wielding wands and are going about, and you get the sense that these are the likely spellcasters or spell users of the Gormalon family, and these are likely like the healers of the group, or at least the arcane trained, and they go about mending a lot of the smaller disrepair, some of the shrubs that have been burned or kind of scalded away from the wyrmling's acid is being repaired through, you recognize, through druidcraft.
Question. I recently gained my druidic circle when we leveled up. Would anything relevant have happened?
What circle did you choose?
I think my character would probably be most familiar with Grassland, so that's what I went with.
Right. Not necessarily here. You don't necessarily get any feeling here. You do You do feel a bit of a longing for rolling hills, things like that. But you definitely feel a little out of place. But this is still, you could still feel like you could find comfort here if you were given time to adjust. You feel like you could find and appreciate the beauty for it, as the rest of the Gourmanons have. But at the moment, you don't feel necessarily any other striking images.
Watching them magically repair the damages and observing their craft and how acquainted they are, I guess with magic, it kind of makes me question. Like, I don't really know a lot about this craft that I've just discovered, and it makes me want to learn more about it.
You don't know about the way.
Yeah.
You do not know the way.
I do not know the way.
You do not know the way.
I just stumbled upon it.
You do not have the Ebola. You cannot know the way.
You do not want the sickness.
In Uganda.
All the Cormorants now are just fucking Uganda.
The ligato anus.
Well, they're just using the water here.
Found out you were real drunk last night, and the whole time you were doing it, she's just like, I will show you the way. I am your queen.
You give the Ebola.
Oh my god. So you're just kind of watching.
Yeah, just kind of observing them, kind of like really like admiring like how well acquainted, like just kind of how effortlessly they're doing everything.
Then you should have done seen me.
It's like, you ever watch guys like build like a wall and like a house like in like a day, like that's what it's like. You're just like
the fast.
Yeah,
It's like HGTV.
Yeah.
Live and in person.
yeah.
I used to do
I know, it's amazing watching
craft
magic.
to like
Yeah.
a campfire.
It's half the
Yeah.
reason I even made this pack.
You do feel.
You use your magic for notice.
Bullshittery in your genitals.
He's not wrong.
It's a craft.
It's a craft.
It's a craft.
But you do get a bit of a.
It's not easy when it's all this work.
You feel that there's a definite reverence for their craft here, and you feel that that watching these people, they have a deep connection with the earth.
It's like watching an Amish person put a barn up. That's what it is.
It's an Amish barn raising.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
It's
what it
like
is.
hopefully, like
shit.
I think of like all these celebrities, like they're like all in unison, like
Yeah.
heave, ho,
Yeah.
heave, like all in like one motion. It's like, but they're all like orchestra
Yeah.
symphony.
Super experts.
Yeah.
It's like in Harry Potter at the in the Deathly Hallows whenever
Yeah, when they're all
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoilers!
Spoilers!
10 years later.
At the end, whenever they're all joining their power to
Fixing the-
make
yeah, make the shield.
They're doing the large shield. It's like that, but for a house, yeah.
Nice.
And many different metaphors and analogies for it, but
Yeah.
you do get a bit of reverence for it, and you get to appreciate that these people live off the land and they have a deep appreciation for everything. Is there anything anyone else would like to do in the morning?
I'm gonna be like kind of a little curiously staring at that bottle again, and I'm like, well, worked before, so I take my wand out, trace that same sigil I did for Roman,
Alright.
touch myself, and then I'm gonna try and identify the substance within the potion glass again.
All right. Make a. It's not necessarily a medicine check because you're not.
See, you could have just
Drank
and then killed yourself.
That's true. but
Just
it's
a
like-
small, like I've read that just a small sip isn't enough to actually
It
enact
spells of the arcana.
whatever the potion is,
It's
but
make
it's
a.
enough to give you insight into what it was made with.
And remind me real quick. Where did you get this one? This was.
On the Xanathar's guide under tool proficiencies, it says like if I examine it, it's like an Arcana or a History check.
Or no. Where did you get the bottle?
Oh, that was like forever ago. I found this bottle. It looked questionable. I have a strong suspicion it's disguised as a potion, but not actually a potion of healing.
No. Did you where did you get it?
Where
recently?
did we get it?
Yeah.
Where did we get it?
Because
Yeah.
which one was it from? Was it back in Kosh or was it?
I think it was back in college.
I think it was before Kosh.
Was it? I mean, this was like a while ago.
This is an old potion.
Because I was like, I don't trust this, so I'm not ever
This
gonna
is
use
7,
this.
8.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what it is. Give me
We're
one
like,
second.
hold on, I have a piece of paper for
Give
this.
me 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never trust this fucking thing.
So while this is going on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to round the group up together.
I'm ready to let the cart with you.
You got Rupert, right?
Yes,
Do you?
I have him here
Are you sure?
in my
Because you
kit.
left the door open and you let him out before you passed out.
I slept with him, don't worry. Of course.
Is Rupert there?
I came back in the night times. and I snuggled
Rupert is
up with him.
nicely snuggled up.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
See?
Well, set him on the cart.
Not
We need to discuss where we're headed.
Okay.
So,
Stay, boy.
The Nivets.
Is
I
that-
mean, that's the name I kept. I mean, is there any place else that's worth?
well, I mean, that would be from where we are, like, the closest. Be the closest, yes. Major city. I think y'all mentioned that was where Simon maybe
We have a strong suspicion. he might be-
sighted, at least. I know a few people in Benivitz, so if we can get there, we can have at least some asylum.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
With guidance, right?
With guidance.
It's paying off, please. 16.
16. So as to the potency, the direct potency, you're not 100% certain. But as you kind of slosh it around, you do notice that the liquid inside is not necessarily, it has a viscosity to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit thicker. And as you kind of shake it a little bit, you see it kind of sparkle a little bit. And you get the sense that this is a bit of a balm. And if you were to use this as a coating of sorts, it would, in essence, give your weapons a bit of an extra bit of magical flair.
Okay.
So this is a balm of electricity.
Okay.
If you were to use this on a weapon and coat it, and as again, the potency you're not entirely sure, but your best guess is this is 4 uses. It could be 3, it could be 5. You're not entirely sure, but 3 to 5 uses. And if you were to coat it on the next attack, it becomes a magical weapon.
Okay.
And it also does an extra 2d6 lightning damage.
Okay.
You have a balm of right of lightning, sir.
You know, there's plenty of times where I could use this, but I was petrified by what this might be.
No, it's always good to be skeptical.
Mm-hmm. I can't help but be skeptical.
No, anything inside a bottle could be anything.
You know, there was a time when I was almost force-fed this.
I would at what? There was at one point your insides would have been lightning.
You also get the sense that if this were ever imbibed, it would be fatal
I would have.
or potentially not fatal, but in essence,
If you drank all 4 charges of it at once, if you drank the whole bottle, you would be. That's
I was
2d6, 46.
All I
That's
remember-
8d6 damage.
it's gonna mess you up. Really
And how
bad.
often does the damage proc? Every
And-
attack?
Well, and the thing is if it's internalized as well,
It's gonna just yeah.
it's affecting your systems
toxicity.
directly. So
This is a good lore drop too. I was incapacitated at the time, and someone was trying to resuscitate me with a potion. However, they could not identify what was actually a potion and what wasn't.
Who was that? Who was it?
Remedy.
Was it Remedy?
Yeah,
When was that?
that was like that was during the dragon fight when we were on the boats.
Oh man, that was when the kids died. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sad now.
So, I'm so sad.
Zarek is
to see
crying
that.
somewhere in his monastery right now while Sigrun yells at him for being an idiot for leaving.
those poor children, they just wanted to get you up the river.
Zarek's just
I
like,
know.
they just wanted to get us up the river. Sigrun's like,
That's
stop
the
crying.
one that melted in the
Fucking
river.
yeah.
They got utterly just roasted and
The game right before you joined.
Yeah.
Were the one where you sit there for it?
I'd like to do one last thing real quick. I'm gonna go to Gangrene.
Okay.
Gang?
I'm gonna see if he perhaps would like a vial of Death Knight juice or Devil Dog juice.
Oh, you're seeing if he wants to buy some rare rangens.
Yes. Or scales.
I mean, we're leaving dead corpses.
Where did you get these? Along my travels.
Killed some interesting things.
To note, he's actually in the greenhouse right now, and he seems to be taking a current stock. And you see that there are still a fair amount of there's herbs and bits of wood and twigs and other alchemical tools and things scattered about. So it's a very hodgepodge, kitschy environment that you're in. And it's,
He's over here like, he's like, what's this shit on this leaf?
what's this right here?
It's sticky.
But as you present it to him, he starts to. Do you mind if I?
By all
Do you mind if I test this? I have no idea what this is. And you look, it's.
You may test.
He just took a DNA test. Turns out it's 100% that bitch.
Yes. Of course.
Of course.
Well, if you were ever to use this without, I always say as an alchemist, it's never a good idea to use an ointment or a balm or a potion that you have no idea what it can do.
That's why.
So it's very.
While he's talking to him, I'm gonna be focusing on Rupert, and secretly I'm gonna be rubbing my wand or making small gestures with my hand, as I'm staring at Rupert.
Trying to fuck my dragon?
No,
I'm gonna cast.
I'm doing I'm low key out of character. I'm doing a ritual. I'm muttering even under my breath
All right.
Interesting. I dig it.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So you don't know where you got this, or
Well,
you do?
no, I know where we got them. This bottle is from.
A Death Knight, and this one is.
That would be the closest we
Devil
could acquaint to it.
All
is a
right.
Death Knight. Picture a giant, evil black mass inside of a giant suit of black armor.
And it's the blood of it, or
It's a magical creature.
I
It's
I
not
wrote
like
down
a person.
ectoplasm. So it's ectoplasm.
It's not like blood. It's not a human. It was a magical fey creature.
it looks congealed like
Well,
blood.
it's a little
It's
old.
interesting.
But it might have magical qualities due to its fey.
But it's very unique.
I could certainly give it a try and see. Might need a little bit of experimentation, but I could certainly try and make something of it.
My muttering gets a little bit louder as I'm swinging.
You said 800 gold and how many health potions?
So we currently have in stock 8 greater healing potions, 6 superior healing potions, and 10 healing potions. Normal healing potions.
We'll take would 4 of each be sufficient?
We
We don't want to clear your stock.
Oh, that's
You're
very
going to need
generous.
to repair and it's understandable.
You guys.
But we do have a side question too, actually. Which would be the quickest route to Benivitz and the safest route to Benivitz? Would it be to go back to the swamp village, or should we just press on to the big road? Travel the mountains or travel the swamp?
Well, the mountain road is likely going to be riddled with people trying to profit off of the wartime efforts. People
Bandits,
in caravans,
robbers.
things like that. Yeah,
Okay.
the road from Dire Marsh to Benivitz is very regularly watched. You're likely going to pass a lot of soldiers on your way up. So if you're looking for a quieter road, that is
We
going to be
should
the
go to
path.
the marsh, yeah.
You have to go back to Dire Marsh and then head north. I'm sorry.
He's fine. He's just figured out how to be one of these people who cast weird spells. Anyways,
And then you just see my wand illuminate for a moment, and you hear me speak in Draconic. And I'm going to say to Rupert, I'm just going to say Rupert in Draconic.
He watches Rupert, goes,
Stop talking to him!
and looks over to you,
Rupert,
and looks anxiously.
I'm sorry, but I must tell you something.
Oh god.
Also, I want you to know I understand you too, because I also speak Draconic.
Do you? Alright, so you're in on this, and like, Rupert.
Oh boy.
I know you might be suspicious of us, but Rupert, I must tell you, I'm sorry, but you were abandoned, and instead of leaving you where we found you, we decided to take care of you.
He's right.
And he watches Rupert kind of like pants like a dog a little bit and is pretty acceptive of the idea. Doesn't necessarily look too cognizant of
What you're saying?
what you're saying. Definitely understands,
Yes.
but as far as contextualizing it with the rest of his world, Rupert's just kind of like,
Sure, you're talking to me. You're nice.
alright.
It's like,
Okay.
I know Vladimir might seem crazy, but I know he loves you, and I'm sorry you have to deal with that. We all have to deal with that, I'm sorry.
Rupert kind of,
That's right, I do love you.
Rupert kind of like nuzzles up a little bit.
But just so you know, Rupert, we will keep you safe. And that's...
But we were just curious if we could get some rations, travel rations for the road for the group.
We could probably do that. As far as
I don't think we're going to stop in the marsh town for too long, simply because, you know, our friend here made a bit of a stink before we left. Please though, let people know that Cedric Swords do good work. We try our best.
yeah. Sorry, you said. Anyway, I will do that.
What is so funny?
You said do.
Do. I forgot.
That's kind of funny.
I'm guessing his intelligence is sitting at about an 8.
Listen, here's the thing. We are gonna have to feed a lot of our, we have a good group of people, but a lot of our stuff is perishables, unless you have a way of freezing your meat.
We do.
Prolonging it. Oh, there you go. I can give you enough for a week.
Did you say food?
Yeah.
Oh, do you make food now? Can you make food?
Can I like pray to my God or something? Like, can I communicate?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, would
May
that be
I
a
pray?
religion check? Or?
What are you attempting
I'm
to
gonna
do
be
at
like,
the moment?
I'm basically gonna ask my team, like, hey, I have a feeling, I'm not sure, but I don't understand. Am I able to create food?
You get a positive affirmation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You get a sense of pride and you feel capable.
Okay.
You feel like this is a skill that suddenly you feel confident in your abilities that you could potentially create food.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna be like, I think, one moment. I'm just gonna like concentrate for a moment.
Oh, let me look at my notes
Mhm.
for a second. Let me concentrate real hard.
And then like, once again, I'm gonna make a different sigil. This one kind of looks more like a sprout. Like I'm drawing like a sprout coming out of the soil. And then once again, I'm gonna touch me, and then in my palm are gonna appear 10 berries.
That's we do that sometimes. Actually, that's
Well,
How
then we
did
don't
you-
need the food.
well. I guess that solves that. I mean,
I mean, it will take a little bit of meat, though.
Oh, sure, because it takes
You only eat so many berries before
Yeah.
you'll full of berries.
No, we can give you rations for a week.
So you recommend the swamp path as opposed to the mountain path?
I recommend going back to Dire March and then heading up north. I think that's probably your best bet if you're looking to avoid a great group of bandits. I can't promise anything, for sure.
But if we go the north route, there's a big group of bandits.
You're looking at the mountains, so the mountain steps going up to the larger peaks. You're gonna get some unsavory types. That's where the I'm perfectly fine with the people in Kin Swamp. I think they're swell. I do a lot of business with them. The Cormelon family does a lot of business with the tieflings of Kin Swamp. But you get to the mountains, and that's where you start getting some of the rougher types. some of the Genasi there are a little rowdy. There's a couple of Minotaur over there. Haven't seen one of those in a few years, and then you got some
What kind of Genasi is it?
these real burly looking types.
The Earth ones?
Darker
God, no.
skin. You got some.
We're going to the swamp.
Have you ever met a Goliath?
I'm just like
Once.
sniffing a berry, like.
Listen, good right there.
Just one time. Not a fan.
That's where if you're looking to meet any Goliath, you're gonna want to go to the mountains in the central of.
Wait, that's not what I was reading through all of Zarek's pages. There's kept being mention of a big woman.
A big woman.
Big woman.
Nice.
Anything else?
Omart. Oh. She's a big lady. Followed you all around for a while.
Oh.
Seemed knowledgeable about stuff that was happening. Just blew everybody's fucking mind at the table because nobody's talked about it.
That's been forever. No. Sorry. No. It was like
Amit.
Amit. Yes.
But it was.
Talk to Amit in
She wasn't a human. Not from the description. Like, looked human, yes, but from the description that Zarek had written, she was well over 7 foot tall. She was a broad. Which leads me to believe that she might be in that village.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's been quite some time
Right,
since we've
you
seen
don't see 7 foot tall human women. That's not normal.
I mean, a couple.
But if you've never seen a Goliath, you could be convinced that it was just a really, really, really fucking large woman. Just really big.
Yeah, you know. But
She seemed like, just from the way he wrote, she seemed like she would have information on at least maybe Simon. She was connected to that crazy bitch that you work for.
It's been quite some time since we've seen
Badger just kind of goes, yeah.
Actually,
Samara, yeah.
Aren't you still
I'm
getting
for?
paid by someone?
I haven't collected from Samara in a while, but yeah.
Is Samara the one I tried to bang?
Yes.
I tried to bang so many people.
And like, yeah,
It's
I was gonna say.
Yes. Assume if it's a female name, you tried to bang
Oh,
it
you were
at some
trying to
point.
flex
Yes.
your butt cheeks.
That's right. But I feel like, so we have the option of going back to the swamp town, going north that way, and it's a safe journey. Or we could take a little risky route, go into the Kin Swamp, the Tiefling town, and then head north from there.
So, you are right here.
Okay.
There is an X right here. That is Kin Swamp. Where Gangrene is referring to is this mountain pass right here, which is underneath these steps right here. Now, it's not necessarily known where the different villages are. There is a large one right here called Mount Badine, and that is where a lot of the Genasi live, and some Goliath. There are also Goliath tribes kind of thrown throughout. But you have the town of Mesquitza right there, at the base of the mountains. That is the alternate route that is potentially available.
So I don't in any way listen to me because I just got here. I was just saying from reading the notes, the one lead we have is Benivitz. If we head north to Benivitz from here, we'll get to Benivitz. If we take the small detour, we will still get to Benivitz, but we could possibly get to Benivitz with more information.
Well, I believe if it's on the way.
It's on the way if we go. It's slightly longer that way too, isn't it?
To get to, well,
Well, I mean, no, because we're going to be going through shitty swamp, so it'll be slow speed anyways in the swamp.
The real question is, how many days will this add on to our travel?
So, if you're looking at, and the thing is you don't necessarily
Welcome to
know.
Rolls for Rolls, where we do cartography.
Yeah.
Get the protractor. Let's do this.
I don't actually have my protractor on me.
But, oh shit!
But it's an inch. It's 200 miles.
Okay.
So it's likely
half an inch or so. So that's probably about 100 miles. So it's another 5. It's a 5-day trek to go. Probably about through the swamp. It's about a 7-day trek to go, or it's like 2 days to get to the other side of the road to the mountain pass,
To Ken Swamp
and another 5 days south.
5 days.
5 days
5
south to get to Mesquitza, which is where, or at least that's the next largest town. You don't necessarily know where any of the other Goliath settlements are, other than Mount Badine, which is even further south, which is like another day or so, or probably another day and a half up through the mountains. But if you were to go along the mountain path, it's kind of a crapshoot as to whether or not you'd be able to stumble into one, and that would add even more time. But it's definitely a 2-day trek to get to the other side of the swamp.
Well, it seems if
Either way we go, we're at least 2 weeks from our destination. We can either go the long way through the swamp, all the way back to town. A 2-day trek. Was it a day trek back to town from where we are?
Yeah, it's like probably like half a day to get back to Dire Marsh. So if you were to leave now, you think the Dire Marsh would probably land you about 2 p.m.
And if we left now and head towards Kin Swamp, it would be
To Kin Swamp, it'd probably
because that's the other way across, right?
Yeah, Kin Swamp is on the other side. So Kin Swamp is a day and a half or so.
So we can either go back to the town where we pissed everybody off.
just gonna stare at
You
Vladimir.
just stare at Vladimir.
Yeah. Or
So we can either go back to the town where we pissed everybody off, or we can add a couple of days to the travel and go to a town.
powerful if I can disguise myself.
We just chill at the roadhouse. We got good people at the roadhouse.
Think about
Just chill at the roadhouse.
I suppose now is probably a good time to point out that I have 20,000 gold hidden
In the
in the
mountain?
mountains outside of Mesquite.
Well, goddamn it, we're going that way then.
I'm gonna look at everyone
It's
else.
not even a question. I don't give a shit what you say. I have the cart.
I'm gonna look at Badger and be like, "Did you
You're
know
coming
about
with me.
this?" I'm just gonna ask Badger if he knew about this, because Badger would be the only one I think who would know about it.
Shit, no. Would you know where if we headed that way? Would you be able to lead us to it?
Where did you get 20,000 gold?
I may have stolen it.
Stolen, nice. I like your style.
Okay. Who?
They're dead now, it doesn't matter.
Oh, is this the one that I read about last night, the Friends of the Hills?
Yes.
Man, that sounded like a hell of a fight. You stole all that from them? Shit. So the he was saying there's other bandits who live in the mountains. You know them?
You actually would know them. These are just called the Mountaineers. They're sort of like a brotherhood of independent tribes, more so. But they resort to banditry to kind of supplement their trade. They do trade sometimes with the people of Skitza and some of the other domesticated settlements. But they're not as savage as the Friends of the Hills. The Friends of the Hills are notoriously one of the more extreme banditers.
Ruthless.
Or at least they were before the City of Swords disbanded their organization.
Ruined the big boss fight real quick.
But you haven't heard too much else about the Mountaineers and their in the way that they've organized themselves. So you're not sure what the hierarchy is necessarily, and they're all scattered. But you do feel confident that if you live in the mountains, you could likely talk to them and potentially converse with them before they straight out attack you.
So what you say is there's a chance we could barter with them and just get through.
They're more opportunists than anything.
20,000 gold. Between 6 people, that's a lot of money. Just give him toss a couple thousand and be like, fuck off and let us go. People like money. True. We'll see how many of the people there. So we all agreed, money.
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 God, it makes the world go around and I love it.
I like gold.
Even though I've grown fond of
Oh,
it,
man, also.
I'm still a cold-hearted Opportunist at home.
Good. Never let it change you there. How was your night? Little sore? Had the old woman rough? Yeah? Just looking around. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just say I feel rejuvenated.
Good. Let's go get some money, boys.
I'm gonna ask if he ever figured anything out about my liquids.
Give this to me about 5 minutes ago.
I understand, but
We're gonna be leaving soon, so.
It's, where do you plan on? Are you heading back to Dire Marsh?
No, we're leaving.
oh, it's fine. I'll take it back.
We're gonna head over to the Goliath people.
You're heading down to Mount Medine?
Well, we're going to head in that direction at least. We have some stuff to take care of, and then we're gonna head up to Benivets.
Well,
So we won't be back for a while.
if you're tell you what. I can figure out what it is, you know, and then on your way back up, I can drop it off.
I mean, I'm not gonna remember that. I'll just take it and stare at it for a couple days. Maybe I'll figure it out.
To each their own.
I have some tools you can use in the cart. It's fine.
Excellent. Thank you, Sam.
All right. Was there anything else? The Citric swords needed.
Yes, I got these questionable healing kits in town. I don't know if the actual vendor knew what he was selling. I haven't had time to go through them myself. I was wondering if you could evaluate these.
These are, you watch as he kind of like sifts through them. It takes the better part of like 5 minutes to kind of.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't use these just because I have everything else at my disposal, but these will do the job.
I mean, could I donate these to you in exchange for better ones? I mean, I could throw some gold in as well.
I have a lot of healing.
Or should I just throw these into the wilderness and let the animals have it?
I mean, if you're passing through Ken Swamp, they might need them. I mean, they don't necessarily have too many.
Yeah, we could give them the supplies. They'd probably use it.
Yeah.
I heard it was a.
I could donate this to you.
Yeah,
bits and
probably.
parts and odds and ends.
Yeah, they have a store down there.
Mhm.
It's called the Carriage Shop.
Insight check. I don't know if that's true.
Alright, roll an insight check.
Do you have anything you would like to do today? We're gonna swap.
Shit.
Stop in.
12.
I mean, you're not quite sure if it was a joke or not.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I mean, I don't necessarily need anything delivered over there. We do most of our business with Dire Swamp. People from we get travelers to and from Dire Swamp and Kin Swamp. Sorry, Dire Marsh, not Dire Swamp. Dire Marsh and Kin Swamp. But I mean, just give them our good wishes. Warn them about the dangers if there's things like that are flying about that attack us.
Oh, there won't be another one of those. At least not the same one.
I hope not. I hope you're right about that.
Yeah, good luck.
If the people of Kin Swamp are attacked, I don't know if they're going to be able to defend themselves. But anyway, it's very nice meeting you all, and I do hope we get to meet again soon.
Likewise.
Indeed.
Have a good one, sir. It was a pleasure doing business.
And as you pull off from the
You what? Toss a coin to your witcher.
Toss a coin to your witcher. As you pull off from the Gormalon Grove, once again you get the feeling of the road hitting you, and you see that
On the road again?
yeah, the swamp is not a hospitable place. It's definitely a rougher road than the one from Finmir's Hold to Dire Marsh. Cart gets stuck a couple of times, but not enough to really derail anything. You just kind of have to give it an extra push every once in a while. But to get to Ken Swamp, it's going to take the rest, the entire of today, and you get there on the following noon, just about halfway through the day. So, who is helming the cart? All right.
I'm gonna be with Roman. Is there
Up on the cart? Yeah. If you'd like to describe how your cart actually looks, it's your cart. If you want.
Oh, it's like a.
Is it like a covered wagon?
Oh no, it's what's that? What's the damn movie?
Like a Wells Fargo wagon?
No, it's it was a real bizarre movie. It was not Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium, but it was the other movie, the other real weird one with Johnny Depp, and he was.
Mr. Spigorium's Wonder Spigorium?
No, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Willy Wonka?
No, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp had to come in and replace Heath Ledger because Heath Ledger was the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah.
In his weird ass fucking
Yeah,
cart
I
that he has.
Looking it up right now.
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and his bizarre cart.
Hell yeah.
You don't even know what movie I'm talking about, do
No.
you? God, I'm so old.
Yeah. I'm like Heath Ledger's. That had to be early 2000s.
Yeah, it was the movie right before he died. It was the movie he was filming when he died.
Yeah. I'm trying to find
And
the cart.
they had
Yeah, it's that shit right there.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a tall boy.
Is there room for two?
Yeah, there's room
That's
for
my
two in the
main
front.
question. Yeah.
But there's
Little seats on the
much
side.
shit
There's
in
so
there,
much
sure.
shit in there.
If you'd like to.
I've lived in
there
there
it
for
is.
years, guys.
Excellent. That's his cart. It's
Roaming-
a shit show.
Roaming apartment.
Yeah, a treehouse is a cart house.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Well,
yeah.
no, sorry.
Well, so there's ample room up there.
Yeah.
If you'd like to sit up at the.
Yeah, throughout the day while we're traveling, I'm just gonna regale Roman with like tales from our adventures. Like I'm gonna tell him about the time they were in Simon. Like actually, I wasn't there, but I heard about when they were in Percy's house. That was yeah, Percy's house. I'm gonna tell him about the bandit battle. I'm gonna tell him about the time he body slammed a minotaur. And then
Zarek body slammed a minotaur.
yes, he was enlarged at the time.
That's beautiful.
And then I'm gonna
God, why am I so boring and living alone in the swamp?
I'm gonna get to the dragon and be like, yeah, there was this moment where we were fighting this dragon, and Zarek took out this strange piece of glass and started to track the dragon with it.
He's like, oh, this piece of glass, and then just pulls out a shit ton of broken shards.
I'm gonna be like, do you mind if I look at that?
Oh, feel free. I'm not sure how it broke, but feel free.
He just drops it in my
Yeah, and it's actually a fairly clean break into 3 pieces.
Yeah.
So there's not necessarily like large shards
Yeah.
or
It's just-
like small shards. It's a fair break.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually take out like some tools from like my glass blower kit, like some tweezers, and start like looking at the glass. Can I try and identify the source of the glass?
Ooh, this is getting
Yeah,
fucking interesting.
Make an intelligence check for me.
without proficiency.
Ooh, can I help him?
Can you help me? Nah, it's okay.
You're
He's driving the car.
you're driving the cart right now, and you're
Yeah.
on the cart. It's kind of hard to.
Wish I had my
Yeah,
horse.
But as I am zagging, like I
Literally.
can't quite like I don't succeed at it.
I'm
But I'm like,
with a horse,
you know what?
technically.
I'm gonna. I can take a look at this another time, but right now this is too unfamiliar for me.
Oh, at some point
What
when
did
we
you
stop
roll?
the cart.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
Nah, fail.
Oh, okay.
Oh man!
You're
No,
really-
once we
really
stop
bad.
the card, I have all kinds of things. I have magnifying glasses that you could look at. That you could look into the different galaxy with them.
Sounds very
Yes,
interesting.
you can look at it through that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone else would
Like
like to
I
do?
said, I'm walking with
to
the horse.
stare at my
I'm
liquids.
just up there talking to it like.
All right, make an Arcana check for me.
Good. On the road.
What are you checking?
The liquids. Let's see.
I mean, for us, they're going to be useless till you roll with something.
12.
12. These, you are able to tell these don't necessarily have an arcane. They don't hold any real
Magic power.
usable magic power or so.
But they may have an alchemical use.
Potentially. You're not quite sure.
I'll
Yeah.
give you 5 gold to take a swig of that one. 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to do something on the previous night. Go roll a d6 for me.
Oh shit, tits.
Yep.
I don't even know why.
I think I remember.
I think I do too. 2.
Your maximum health
Yep.
goes down by 2.
Just a disease. Oh no.
You feel for a moment in the morning as you first wake up. Or sorry, this would have been last night during the battle.
Yeah.
At some point throughout the battle, in the midst of chaos, you felt a sudden twinge of like pain. But at the time you were in the battle and you
Yeah,
weren't really able to
everything
tell
was
the
going
difference.
too
I don't
fast.
even know where
there.
it came from.
I hate to backtrack or anything, but like, would that have been notable? Like, would he have been like, would he have brought it up at all?
It's been
Do I look
3.
sick?
Yeah.
3. Make a medicine check for me.
Cool.
Do I feel sick?
Yeah, how
Other than
much
just feeling-
I'm going to make myself feel sick.
how much-
13.
how much total health have you lost so far? Like, so it's noticeable.
Well, when I leveled up, so I'd already lost 4, but I leveled up and I accidentally erased it, so that would have put me at 70 with the already -4, so another 2 would put me at 70, or no, it would put me at 68.
68, yeah.
So you just look tired a little bit.
I'm just a little like,
And what is your
my max?
maximum? Yeah.
My maximum health
Max
is
health.
74.
Yeah, it's a 6.
So-
yeah.
As far as you feeling any effects of this disease actually kicking in, not necessarily.
It's a little under the weather.
It's a little under the weather. It's like you've had a bit of a headache or so, a mild discomfort,
Just
but
overworked.
you're not quite sure if it's from the swamp water or the swamp air affecting you.
The new company.
Being
Swamp ass.
in the yeah, you're not quite sure if it's swamp ass yet, but you're also
Definitely got the swamp ass.
you are in a very cold environment right now, so you're not quite sure if it's just like the aches from being in the freezing cold weather. With the 13 medicine check, it's hard to tell. Everyone's kind of been looking. I mean, it's cold weather, so everyone's been sniffling. Everyone has a red nose or so, but everyone does still have their heavy coats on.
That's Santa baby.
So it doesn't necessarily. You're not able to tell.
Cool.
There are no visible signs. And you're taking a swig.
For 10 gold.
7.
Of which one?
10.
3.
7 gold and 5 silver.
10 platinum.
No.
10.
Fuck that, I'll drink it. Give it here.
Fine. But don't drink all of it.
I take a sip. It tastes like shit.
Of which one?
We're gonna
Of
go
the,
with.
the Bloodhound or the the Death Hound or the Death Knight.
Do anything cool? Don't do anything cool.
These guys. Explodes internally.
The Death Knight!
Death Knight. And how much do you drink of it? Just like
Just a sip.
Just a
Just the.
Drop.
make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh,
Really good at this.
tastes like death. Good.
20.
You take 2 points of force damage as you immediately vomit.
Oh, yes. He would make a wicked potion of absolute fucking horror out of this.
It's just the sheer disgustingness of it
Isn't benign.
is well, yeah. As soon as it touches your lips and you get it like in your mouth, it's immediately your body sends red flags and you just.
So when I was in Benivas, there was this famous cook man who would go around to other people's places and rate their food, and he would say that this is absolutely utter shit.
Yes, I would assume that since you threw up everywhere.
Man, but you could make a mad poison with this. It would be wicked.
I'll have to hit the library.
You should check it out. You should try the other one. It wasn't that bad.
Fuck it.
Just a little sip. It didn't say down the fucking bottle and kill yourself. It said take a sip.
And
That's the easiest way to toast it.
Do a little.
make a Constitution saving throw for me.
That's the reason most, that's how most alchemical things are learned. Like, you have a drink and you go, okay.
5.
You should write next to the Death Knight blood, force damage. And you should let him make poison out of it.
Or I should note, it's not arcane or alchemical. It's disgusting.
Oh, it was just straight nasty.
It's just nasty.
Yeah, you just don't make a poison out
It's
of it.
really-
it's
it's-
gross.
It's like you just drank someone else's vomit or bile.
Fuck yes.
Nice.
What was his?
You take 11 points of force damage.
Fuck.
As you get it a little bit further down into your throat, and you feel immediate burning
God damn! I said a sip, not a fucking chug it.
as you
Not to deep throat
Again.
it. Stop.
immediately upchuck everything, and you feel just so disgusting.
I'm gonna vote toss them.
Yeah. You feel
Is they're kind of chunky at this point?
they're a little bit viscous.
Yeah,
They're-
straight up just.
They're congealed a little bit.
As soon as it's
They're sour.
A little chilly.
It's like chunky
no, we're
milk.
eating them. We're done.
Shit.
Look,
Could be cool.
they're not with anything. Things like this, anything you take that's fresh off of a dead body. This is. You should know this. You're a hunter. You have to preserve it, or it's going to become ruined, which is what this is.
I guess.
Nah, we keep it.
That's straight loud.
When I was in the dragon's mouth, did I get like any of like?
Glands?
Yes.
Yeah, with your medicine check, you're able to gain
Yeah, that's the one thing I forgot to ask.
three
Three.
glands.
Poison?
Yes.
Cool.
And as far as and how are you housing them? Since we're on the subject of housing,
Of housing.
storing.
Oh, they're frozen with the
Oh, they're frozen
with the
okay.
meat.
Good to know. All right.
We will use those.
Okay.
They
But the
will
both
be
of you
used.
currently have a horrid taste in your mouth of it tastes like you just gnawed
Do
on
that.
a decomposing corpse.
You know that thing you said you learned?
Prestidigitation.
That! Do it right here.
Damn, I.
Pull my dick out.
Oh god.
Never mind.
If you want this, here you go.
We are. As soon as you do this, I'm biting it off. I want you to know that.
Now that I'm affiliated with magic, I never realized wizards are such perverts.
Are you seriously doing this?
It's canon. Every wizard uses their
Put it in
dick.
your mouth. It's a distance. It's a ranged weapon.
You keep it 30 fucking feet away from me. You sick,
My dick is
sick
deranged.
bastard.
Yes. Hey man.
He doesn't pull his dick out. He just learned how to do this. He doesn't pull his dick out.
I spent years studying this.
I think you spent years not looking at the book, and then one day was
Ladies
like,
love it.
I have not yet seen one lady who loves it.
Fuck. Damn it.
What I'm gonna do to myself, fuck it.
Go for it.
You're gonna see Vladimir curl up in a ball.
Oh my god.
Removing one rib.
Yes.
Oh god.
Ah, tastes like.
I reach into Zarek's bag,
Deliciousness.
pull out a bottle of firewater. Oh no, a fine tomfer. Sorry. So it is the classy shit.
Yeah.
And then I proceed to cleanse my palate with some nice booze.
You are able to kill.
Shit bag. Don't have to use your dick.
Booze isn't as good as what I'm tasting right now.
You definitely it. For the
Tastes
Tunta, I
like
mean,
Yes,
the
sir.
Tunta does taste like a very like a dark beer, which definitely
Tastes
it
better
definitely-
than whatever the fuck was in my mouth.
and it kills. You definitely feel it like you can feel the alcohol killing the bacteria.
Would you like some? Yeah.
Yeah, it takes some of that Tunta. But yeah. All right, so go ahead.
No,
and
it's
make a-
just like, huh?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. This will be what we do for the day.
15.
Alright. And I should also ask what pace are we using? Because for a normal pace you'll reach there by the end of or by noon.
Is there any penalty or benefit?
If you were to go fast, you'd probably reach there by late night.
Late tonight.
Like about 10 o'clock this evening. A slower pace will put you at the following evening.
But there's the chance that going fast, Like, for instance, it would probably pose some negative effect to my perception check.
Some danger.
It's a -5 if you're moving fast.
So that would have been a 12 on my roll.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've made it this far by keeping a strong, consistent pace.
You want to go fast?
Um,
Just say the word and Bessie can go.
the swamp area. Maybe we
You don't
should,
like it, do
we
you?
should probably try to get to it as fast as possible.
Go, Bessie! Ha!
Alright, so you're going fast pace?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it 12?
12.
Alright.
Wait, no. 10.
10. Okay.
Because it was 12 plus
Yeah.
3 to 15.
Yeah.
Minus 5. 10.
So, as you're making your way through,
It's just 11.
As we're making our way through, after watching
no way.
Vladimir and Roman, I'm gonna take out a pouch and pour out the berries again, and I'm gonna be like, I'm so unfamiliar with this magic. I wish. I mean, okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the berry.
alright, you've got your.
It's like
It's like I
You've been in the town and gone to like one of those fancy bakeries where they're like, this cookie has enough food in it to fill you up for the whole day. That's what your little berry is.
That's honestly what that is like. Would anyone else care?
Oh, I'll take a berry, sure.
Yeah, or just go ahead and divvy up.
They're like a muscle cookie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Well, I'm good for the day, boys.
Yeah, they're senzu bean cherries.
Yeah. Senzu bean.
Senzu bean.
Would I notice any other properties of it? Because since I am listening.
Of the good berry?
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, you do notice that it does fill you up for food and water for the day.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like however you'd like it to taste.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly juicy.
I guess with the remaining berries I have, could I could I inspect them to see if there's any other properties? Since I'm unfamiliar with it.
Make an Arcana check.
Cool. 18.
18. No other particular. They sort of have this. It appears as though they're fairly utilitarian. They have their one use and they serve their purpose. They are. I mean, they will rejuvenate. One hit. I believe it's 1 hit point.
Yeah. After evaluating them, these are pretty useful. I think I might be able to put them to use in the future. And then I'm just going to stow them in the pouch and put them away.
Save so much money on food.
Yeah.
As you make your way through
Downtown.
Moving at a fast pace, it's hard to see the different surroundings. But you do notice that the swamp does open up a little bit. You get sort of past the thicker foresty part that had kind of surrounded the grove, and you get into more open bog. And you hear lots of different noises. Some good, just bird chirps, things like that you're more familiar with. Other things, more like snarls, hissing sounds, the sounds of what sound like large bubbles kind of cresting to a surface and then popping up in the distance, and you hear this sort of bubbling. But it's all whizzing past as you're moving at a fairly decent, fast pace.
Everything here wants to kill us. Lived here for a couple months. It's just the truth. This is like Australia.
Good thing we're moving fast. Certainly.
Hopefully we don't just drive right into a giant spider nest.
Yes.
I did that about a week before I met you. It was great.
Oh, that must have been fun.
It wasn't. It was an awful time. I left my cart there for 3 days.
3
days! 3 days!
Oh god.
And with that, let's see. Make a real quick. Make a. Yeah, make an animal handling check for. Or sorry, no, you do make a cart check. Make a driving check. So you are proficient.
Wrong.
So it's a D20 plus your I believe it's just your proficiency, because you're
Just
your,
my proficiency?
Your proficiency in it.
I don't have that offhandedly. That's new to me.
Just,
Because it's your proficient in a vehicle. You get
It's
to
your
add to it.
vehicle proficiency
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know if there's anything else onto it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's dexterity or
I'll
not.
say add your. It's probably not dexterity. Well, actually,
Well, yeah, I'd say dexterity because you're
yeah.
moving a car.
Yeah.
So that would be 11, 12. Is it a save or just a check? Check.
Just a check. This is to see
16.
your ability in piloting your vehicle.
Oh, 17.
17. You do notice as you're driving along, very briefly, a split second, you see something on the side of the road. You're not sure what it is. You're not able to perceive what it is, but you are able to move the cart out of the way just in time
To avoid it?
to avoid it. Make another perception check for me.
Fuck. 10.
10.
Not good at looking at things.
And I'll go ahead and say you have advantage because he's up there
Yeah.
with you, so you'll be able to point things out as well.
Until the to the
It's not any
horse.
better. That's so 10.
10.
Because the other one was a 4.
Yeah. Go ahead and make another vehicle check for me.
God, are we just like coming across people and I'm trying to not run them over? Because I'll stop the cart. Oh, that's, yeah, I'm going to pass that. That's going to be, you said a cart check?
Yes.
24.
24. Again, this time it's a little different. You see that while it's on the road, and you're not able to really see what it is. You see that there's something on the road that's kind of large. Could be a person, could be a tendril, could be a tree. You're not really sure, like a fallen tree. That's just covering the road with a large bulb. You are able to move the cart out of the way. This time you watch as it instinctively, as you pass, kind of flexes. You aren't able to see what it is, but it flexes and then it kind of recedes.
Should we slow down?
I'm not sure what that was.
I don't me either, that's why I'm saying it.
I think we should stop for a moment.
Stop. Whoa, Betsy.
Alright?
Look behind me. What the shit am I looking at?
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna. Sorry, go for it.
That's good though. I did good. Didn't roll like shit. It's, you said perception?
Yes.
22.
22. You don't. You see, for a split second, you're able to catch it as it is receding back into the watery bog. You're not able to perceive exactly what it is as it's moving so very quickly, but you see the end of a large tendril just kind of dip back underneath the surface of the water.
I don't think it's friendly.
I don't think this is a bad situation.
We keep going. Yeah!
Alright?
Sorry for the delay.
We'll get things fuck out of you.
Make one more vehicle check for me.
Jesus.
You have to
I'm the only person who's proficient in a car, aren't I?
Only one.
That's you need all those cards.
16.
Alright.
God, we're not gonna miss this one!
As you give it a go.
Damn it, God damn it.
You see very quickly and you instinctively react as one comes from the left and you swerve to avoid. Give it another whip. One comes from the right. And you seem to move past it. And then all of a sudden, you feel from the back right wheel, something is currently tugged around from the surface of the water, just barely breaking the surface, is what appears to be a very large tendril. You're not quite sure
Can I turn to like perceive?
Ooh, be very careful.
Sorry.
That is so expensive.
Can I try and perceive what is like stalling the car?
Make a perception check.
Oh shit.
Inform you if you see it. Take care of it.
21 on that 20.
It looks like a large green tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any suction pods on it. It looks more like a very large, thick vine that is currently wrapped around the back wheel. It looks like it's wrapped around maybe about 3 or 4 of the spokes.
You say it's fine?
Do I what?
Are you saying out loud what it is?
Is it dark yet? That's my main question.
No, it is. While there is still a lot of fog
Uh-huh.
around the area, you are able to see in sort of the immediate vicinity, around maybe about 20 feet around the cart. It is daytime. It's still about early afternoon or so.
I'm gonna say there's a tentacle wrapped around the back wheel of this cart when I'm moving forward.
Take the reins. The hook man around.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fucking just flame blade. I'm on the ground level, so I'm gonna go with flame spear, wherever.
Alright.
Away, like the tentacle, like just 10 feet away from the cart where it's holding.
Okay. And is that what is that? Dex save or? Yeah. No, it's gonna fail. Yeah. It fails the dex save, so it's 2d10.
Oh shit, 14.
14? Alright. You watch as it kind of recoils for a second, and then it once again.
Snap my finger and cast Shatter.
By the way, it is side note, vehicle proficiency is DM dependent, so sorry. Go ahead. I was just looking that up.
Sorry, Shatter.
Shatter. That's going to be a save.
Yeah, it's a.
Is this considered? You said it was a vine.
What's your best? That's your best guess. That's what it
It
is.
would have disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yeah, so I did flame.
So is it a vine?
It's any like
Inorganic
materials.
Stone has disadvantage on the saving.
Oh, it's stone. It's just
so
stone.
it does not have disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's a
Con save of 16.
Yeah, that is going to be 17. Sorry.
Okay, so that's
So that's at least half damage. It's a 3d8 half damage.
after 6.
Alright. You hear this loud, thundering clap that is sort of like localized, and it sort of reverberates for a moment around the fog and the thick air, as you watch some of the fog actually kind of disperse a little bit. It doesn't necessarily. It seems to kind of react to strength and its resolve, and it seems to be holding a little bit more.
Fix this before it rips my wheel off.
At this moment, a second.
God
one
damn
of
it!
One of the ones that you had avoided kind of swings back, and it's gonna try and grapple the
blast.
Yeah. So you're currently inside the cart.
What am I to do?
Alright.
It's a damn plant!
You watch as it comes around and now takes the front left wheel is now currently grappled as well. So you have the front left and the back right wheel that are grappled at the moment.
Ray of Frost!
You're the worst wizard I have ever encountered in my life.
On which one? You have the front left and the back right.
The front.
Alright. Ray of Frost. Yeah, that actually just hits. Roll for
Oh wait, I'm sorry, that was damage, I'm stupid. Ha! Ignore me. Okay.
Oh.
No.
Never mind.
Never mind.
mind.
It doesn't. as you kind of bring out this ray across, it more so kind of dissipates and blends into the rest of the frigid air around you. You're unable to really focus it in as the rest of it kind of disperses. Demetrius, are you doing anything?
No, I go with my sword.
Alright, you poke out which one? The front or the back one? Back one? Alright, roll for an attack.
24.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
What do I have?
Your dexterity plus your proficiency.
So 2 plus dex, or whatever you roll plus dexterity plus purpose.
8.
Oh, I'm sorry, for damage?
No, then it's
just your dexterity modifier, not your proficiency. 5. Yeah, you're able to cut it, and you watch this time it finally kind of recoils and it lets go, and is currently kind of flailing above and just kind of wiggling back and forth. Are you doing anything?
I'm just trying to keep the horses calm. I'm just kind of like, I don't know, fucking antsy right now.
Make an animal handling check.
Help.
Please tell me you're at least okay at this.
I'm okay.
Good, I'm not very good at them at all.
We do animal handling checks in this house. 4?
God damn it.
Well, they are tethered. They do rear up.
Yeah.
And they start kind of bashing into. Or wait, is it 1 or 2?
It's just one.
It's just the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking of 2. The horse is rearing up, and it is currently trying to jostle.
Maybe he'll get pissed off and jostle us free. Or he jostles himself free and runs away.
Sure.
Yeah. He's gonna. He's not really gonna do it. He's just gonna
start flying around.
He's gonna start flying around. He's gonna do 2 points of bludgeoning damage to the actual cart itself as he kind of rears up his hind legs and kicks off. And there's like a plank of wood that kind of goes spiraling off.
Hey, knock it off!
I nearly like, as it,
Yeah. It's going,
yeah,
kind of spirals off and you hear
Alright,
plunk
so-
in the water. What do you do?
Run up to the one that's up in the front and flame wave that shit.
You're gonna flame. Alright. Roll for an attack. Or is it flame spear? Your flame spear?
nah.
Yeah, you can just move your flame sphere. You don't have to cast another spell.
Yeah.
If you cast another spell, you just lost flame sphere.
Or we can let's actually do it then.
You're rolling. Are you gonna? It's a deck save,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, he's gonna fail. He takes another.
2d10.
Yeah. Right. This is. Or you're actually moving it for the front.
Yeah, for the back
Yeah.
one we're going. And that is 16.
16. Yeah, it coils in immediately. Kind of
We're free!
back, and you see that there's now one in front of you and one in back of you.
Here we go. Let's
Just
get the
kind
fuck
of-
out of here.
You kind of hanging there. And Roland, what are you doing?
God damn it. So the one in the back's let go of my cart.
Yes.
The one in the front is still holding on.
No, the one in the front is.
Let go.
is-
We're
is-
just-
is-
They just
Oh, we both let go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, we're free. Like
We're
we need-
free?
We need to get going.
Hand me my goddamn reins. Go, you fucking piece of shit, Bessie!
Make one more vehicle check for me to rein in.
God damn it, Bessie. Don't fuck this up. Let's leave.
And I'm
Well,
gonna say
I'm like on the ground level. I can just try to slap the horse and like,
Disadvantage on this one?
not necessarily disadvantage. I'm gonna say it's minus 3.
-3, so I just
Oh.
don't have my proficiency.
Don't have
Just
your proficiency.
straight
Yeah.
roll with
I will
dex.
say I just.
Oh, that was so bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. As you give it one last go, you hear
Brains just break.
you hear a clink,
And the horse
and
goes.
you watch your horse start sprinting down the road.
God
As soon as I hear
damn it,
as
Bessie!
soon as I hear it clink, I'm gonna use speak with animals. I'm like, come back, heal.
Before you're able to do that,
Oh shit.
Just grabs the god and yeets it into the swamp.
you watch as
Oh shit.
about 10 other tentacles spring up on either side,
The fucking asshole told us to go this way and that it would be fine.
about 20 feet up.
Half-orcs.
and they,
Fucking half orcs, man.
and that's where we're gonna end tonight's episode.
God damn it!
Nice.
Still have like 30 minutes.
It's gonna be a whole thing.
It's gonna be a long fight,
Yep.
but
no.
that's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah,
Potentially we could
I'll
probably
get
start
them
day
marked off,
30 next
speak with
next
animals.
weekend. Try and get.
So
Damn you, horse!
But
have
yes,
fucking
we're gonna end
horse.
tonight's episode.
fucking horse.
Tragic.
We got a viewer, boys. Is that one of us?
No, I don't think it's not me.
Oh, wonderful.
Hello, person.
Oh,
Say hello in the chat. We will say hello back to you.
Yeah.
For we are lonely and do not actually have friends.
Our number one fan.
Our number one
One
fan.
of my friends.
Huh?
Oh, hello.
My friends.
Is it Peyton or somebody?
No.
Peyton, if that's you.
It might be Josh as well. I don't know.
Or Josh. Actually, yeah, I think that might be. Hey, hello, Josh, if that's you. Yeah, that was
A hell of an episode with a lot of
episode
talking.
8.
Oh yeah, a lot of development.
A lot of
That was
development.
fun. I like the
Lot of-
talking.
A lot of character moments. Lots of
Like,
good things.
good transition.
Yeah, good transition. Demetrius got laid. Bravo, Demetrius. Wrongly watched.
Bravo. Creepy.
Vladimir reconnected
Yeah.
with Rupert and seemed to
That's got rubbed on.
turn over a new leaf with Rupert. Malachi did some druid shit.
Did a lot of druid.
Did a lot of druid shit.
Yeah.
I did nothing useful.
Morty befriended a half orc and
You defended me.
Oh,
and
Tried to defend me.
and I did nothing.
Roman. I'm sorry, you lost a horse. I'm very sorry.
Lost a horse and lost HP.
Well, looks like I'll be working on my.
You're really gonna need that thing now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to be working on the.
The mechanical
Well,
the
like usual, this episode is going to be up on YouTube in the near future. Be back next weekend for episode 9 of...
Hey.
Wait, number 9. I can do that. Have a good rest of your week. Get some good R&R, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.